Disturbances in the ionosphere translate to changes in weather, such as normally occurring sunspots and the solar wind. The main idea behind HAARP is the ability to direct electrons along the naturally occurring magnetic field lines of the Earth and accelerate them to near the speed of light, to form a protective shell of highly excited particles that not only block communications worldwide, but destroy missiles in their trajectory as they descend from space. The effects can be localized by punching a hole through the ionosphere to superheat an area 30 kilometers in diameter into a plasma shield. Any missile or aircraft would be destroyed that
one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
Coming to you from the studio, located in the Nemesis stars, planet X. The transmission competition drops, fly the best.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a lift.
Welcome everyone to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out, www.thebestdampodcast.tv. Follow me, Instagram at Best Damn Podcast, Twitter at The Real Best Damn, and wherever you're watching from, please make sure to hit that like and give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and share this link. Spread it far and wide. Make sure your mom, dad, your sister, brother, cousin, everybody gets a glance at this one. Also, guys, subscribe. Click that bell. That way you guys can get all of the notifications. And keep in mind, we are completely viewer-powered. That means we're fully funded and supported by you, the listener and the viewer. So if you would like to donate and support to the channel, you can do so by clicking the links in the description box below, and they should be scrolling across the chat. Also, PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, or Facebook Messenger Pay. Make sure to check out booking a personal tarot reading or a personal soul profile, or if you want access to our private and uncensored content in our Dropbox, join the Best Damn Fam for $35 a month. All the links are in the description box below, or you can text 513-393-2396 or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. And to everybody who does donate and support, big ups and big thanks to you guys. It just can't be done without you guys. So I just want to say thank you, and I love you to each and every one of you. And thank you, and I love you to each and every one of you just for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. Tonight I've got a pretty interesting one. We're going to be looking at some of the upcoming events pertaining to asteroid redirection and just how NASA is preparing to save the world from catastrophic asteroid impacts, as well as we're going to be looking at HAARP and a lot of the different chaotic weather that's going on that many people would probably say could be a result of geoengineering. Maybe there's some strategic weather modification going on, huh? Maybe. Just maybe. Or it could be the result of something far more sinister, like a giant protoplanet or fucking neutron star getting ready to blow the doors off planet Earth as it comes whizzing past. I'll leave that to you on which one you believe it is. We're going to look at it from all angles. I've got a lot of documents and stuff too that we're going to get to, especially during the second half of the night pertaining to HARP. This to me, this ties into so much more than just geoengineering and weather modification. This to me ties into so much more than just climate change and all of that. This goes into DARPA and the Department of Defense, and then it starts bringing up the questions like, is any of the things that we're being told are going on right now, like double asteroid redirection tests, like different pandemics, like, preemptive protection for the grid against electromagnetic pulse? Are any of these things that are actually taking place, really what we're being told they are? Or are they actually all connected to this stratospheric aerosol injection? Are they all connected to this manipulation of plasmatic energy on the ionosphere? Are they all part of this giant conspiracy to essentially modify humanity at a genetic level and control them through microwaves from satellites launched into, the upper atmosphere? Is this some type of crazy, weirdo conspiracy theory that could never ever be true and is just too far-fetched and too ridiculous to even think about? And if so, there would definitely not be white papers. There would not be documentation that these things are even happening, would there? Right? We wouldn't have any proof to show you if that were the case. We wouldn't have anything to connect this if that were the case. It would just be another, one of those things, another one of those days where John is just, on his soapbox and being fucking ridiculous with this crazy conspiracy nonsense, But I guess we'll see, right? I guess we'll see. Let's see what we have in the chat tonight. I do appreciate all of you guys for, just engaging and getting involved, to keep it real. You guys know, like, without you, like, there is no Best Damn Podcast. There's no community. There's no show. There's no nothing. Without you, we have no financial support. We have no energetic support. We have nothing. So everybody that is watching, everybody that just takes the time to give us a thumbs up, everybody who takes the time to comment on these videos, share these videos around, and especially those who are just, selfless enough to give their money and stuff to help us keep going and help me take care of me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't tell you how much I truly appreciate you guys, and I want to start this show off tonight with the energy of gratitude. I always want to try to, and I'm trying to do this now more and more. Instead of rushing into the videos and, trying to slap something together to try to impress everybody with, how crazy and terrifying something is, or, how smart you can sound. I think it's just more important that we set the tone with the right energy first. It's like, let's get into the right mood, Let's set the tone. Let's set the mood. We're about to make love to the truth. So we want to do it right, So I just want to give you guys so much gratitude, so much thanks, and tell you that I am absolutely thrilled to still be doing what I'm doing all these years later. So many people have came and went when it comes to, independent media and, YouTube channels, especially when it comes to the truth and the subject matter that we cover. So many people have been canceled. They've been shadow banned. I mean, they're gone now, and it's amazing to me that we have had such a strong community to just keep us afloat and keep us alive. And, we've even, we had times of thriving, while others were struggling over the years. And right now, It's especially challenging because of inflation and the economy and all of that to just keep the wheels rolling. So, I'm just asking everybody, hang in there, man. Hang in there. Let's make sure we focus on positivity. Let's make sure we focus on just sticking together, lifting each other up, and remember why we're here, right? Remember why we do this. Like, for one, we're all trying to, attain more knowledge, more gnosis, not just about the world and the way that it works and the different devices and mechanisms of the controllers and how they influence the masses and control and oppress everyone. That's one side of it, right? And we're trying to avoid it. That's why we're trying to learn about it. And people fear what they don't understand. But we also are trying to seek inwardly to develop ourselves spiritually and consciously evolve as well. So we are investing in ourselves by doing this as well. It's not just about trying to save the world or, wake the world, really. We just want to get people aware and get people on the path and on the journey too, really. We just want to get a bigger family. It's really the name of the game. It's like get a little bit of awareness out there. That way people will take the initiative and they will start seeking and they will start speaking their truth, and they'll start flipping those rocks over and exposing the serpents. Also, that's a big part of it. But it's also just about not being alone. When you're so different and you're a nonconformist, if you will, right? And you don't do things like everyone else does them, and you don't see things like everyone else sees them, it can be absolutely isolating, absolutely challenging, because remember, when you go against the grain, you're going to have friction. You're going against the grain. It's an uphill battle a lot of times to do what everyone else is too afraid to do. To say the things that everyone else bites their tongue on, And that's the type of people you are. And that can be a challenge just to live day-to-day life. It can be a challenge to get along with your spouse. Right? A lot of people are married to normies. People who never question or challenge the status quo whatsoever. They've been married to them for a long time, and by the time they came around to the truth, they already had some type of life, together. So that's hard. It's hard to decide how you want to raise your children. In a world like this, do you want to homeschool them? Do you want to send them to school and try to arm them with the knowledge that you have? I mean, how do you want to go about that? And how are others going to look at you, for teaching them the ways that you see the world or the things that you believe, right? There's a million challenges I don't think anybody ever considers when it comes to this stuff. And then not to mention, our jobs too. A lot of us have to keep our mouth shut when we're at work, especially if you do the 9-to-5 thing. Your boss give you the side-eyed look. Some places may accept you as just the weird guy or the weird chick or whatever, but most places, it's shunned, right? Society shuns thinking outside the box. That's why the term conspiracy theorist, which is a weaponized term, was developed back in the Warren Commission after the JFK assassination. People were bringing up questions about the shooter on the grassy knoll and, how he was shot from two different angles and the missing part of the, I think it was 35 millimeter Zapruder film or whatever. There's missing frames. We've done videos on this shit too, actually. Years ago, I had Eric Catfish do one with me on it a couple years back. Back then, though, in order to discourage people from questioning the narrative, everybody knows, dude wasn't a fucking Soviet agent and all of that. He was just a patsy. He was he was a political dissident that they set up. The United States government set up, in my opinion. That's not the official story. That's not the official narrative. But back then, people were asking those questions, and JFK even had a speech 2 weeks prior to that we use in the introduction of this channel, the Secret Society speech, the infamous Secret Society speech, right, where he was talking about the manipulation of the press. And he was talking about this monolithic fifth column within the government in our world, this hidden hand that operates and pulls the strings and, is corrupt to the bone. It's criminal. It's a criminal organization when you think about it. And it's decentralized network. You can't really, pinpoint one group, one person, one government, one anyone. Because it's a spiritual battle, ultimately, at the end of the day. And no matter who is illuminated and who is not, it doesn't matter. I can become illuminated and so can you. But it's what's inside of us once we reach illumination that determines how we use that power. That determines how we use that influence. That determines how we wield that sword, so to speak. Do we fan the flames of truth and love and justice and balance and peace and allow our light to get brighter and to shine for the entire world to see? Or, do we allow the world of carnality, to dictate who we are, what type of people we are? What a person owns. Properties, possessions to determine their value, right? Allow, our desires to dictate our behavior. The societal structure and hierarchical system and nature of society to basically be the guide on what's right and wrong and what we will or won't do. And how we will or won't do it. The light begins to grow dim. You snuff your light out that way. You hide your light that way. That's why it's hidden. It's a hidden hand. You're hiding the light. You're doing it in the dark. You're using the power of enlightenment, but you're doing it behind everybody's back because you're doing it for crookedness and corrupt and selfish and self-centered reasons. It's not because there's some fucking crazy psychotic group of elites that want to depopulate everybody, blah, blah, blah. You're an elite when you become illuminated too. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Right? It's a spiritual elitism. You have just as much influence, if not more, probably, than a lot of those people in the spiritual realms. And you're probably a lot more heavily protected, And you've probably accumulated a lot more spiritual wealth than they have as well by having good karma, But it's those who want to take that spiritual wealth and want to bend and twist other people to fit their desires, to shield them from the repercussions of their behavior, to essentially eliminate anyone that may oppose their own ideologies or beliefs or narratives and I can go on and on and on. And they capitalize off of those that are blind. They capitalize off of those that are weak and can't defend themselves. And that's one of the most frustrating things that I have to say honestly, that has really gotten to me about, this particular field and doing this work, the amount of years I have now. I started off and I truly, I was so lit when it came to doing this, and I was so hyped, which I am still today, but I had so much hope and faith in humanity. And it was like, man, if they just knew the truth, it's so unfair that people are being deceived into these agendas like transhumanism, right? It's so unfair. People are being forced to leave their jobs or, take a mark. It's so unfair. People are, being enslaved to a dollar that's really worthless. It's so unfair that through peer pressure and cultural pressure, people are choosing fucking stability and mediocrity over love and passion. It's so unfair. That's how I felt. And I still feel like that most days. If any of the things that were truly right for the future of humanity were actually right, then there would have to be no need to deceive everybody into doing these things or following these agendas. So I thought if we just armed them with knowledge, if we gave them the knowledge, we gave them the truth, and then we told them the mysteries, the same mysteries that are being used to control the entirety of the population of humanity. If others knew it too, we would be empowered and the world would be so much different. And I was right, but I just wasn't right in the way I thought I would be right. I watched knowledge increase over the last few years exponentially. I watched knowledge increase, and I watched all of these people become enlightened, become illuminated, become privy to different techniques and skills and gifts, if you will, that reside within us as consciousness has expanded and grown and evolved and changed and knowledge increased and all of these things. And you know what I seen? I seen the spiritual community then basically adopt the same motto as those elites that they hated so much when they started all of this, and that they were being oppressed by when they started all of this. I seen spiritualizing the ego, where they're like, oh, I can't even be around somebody who's not awake now. Like they became better than people because they had an awareness that others hadn't tapped into yet. Or they were better or above them. And it's like, what? And then they started clicking up and creating groups and all of this, and it became the same thing. Society was shitting on you just a few years back because you were different, right? And now the very same people that have been outcast get a hold of the truth and learn a few, things about esoteric knowledge, and they create little cliques and groups and pick on the people that's not a part of them. It's like, what? What? You guys were supposed to be the hope for humanity, the future. And it's like they were judged so harshly because they went against the status quo, because they threw down religion and politics and all of the standardized belief systems. And then they take it and then turn around and start judging others. Well, that person's a sellout, and that person's a scam artist, and this person is that, and that person is this, and it's like, what? Where does anyone get off passing judgment on anyone, first off? Second off, what gives any of us the right to be doing these kind of things just because we learned a few things? We know some shit, and most of them that know some shit don't even know half as much as they think they know. Matter of fact, most of them that think they know some shit, there's a lot of us that have forgotten more than they'll ever know. And you never hear those people harming others, the ones that really do know something. Because they understand the connectedness with all of us. They understand the illusion of judgment and how it's actually self-condemnation is what it is when you judge another person. They understand that none of us have the right to play God, judge, jury in anyone's life whatsoever. No matter how much fucking knowledge we have or how much we know or how much we can do. It's not up for us to be the equalizer in anyone's world or reality. It's up for us to worry about our own world and reality and equalize our own karma. It's not up to us to try to feel like we're better or looking down on those who don't know things or aren't as far along on the path as we are. We were once in their shoes. If anything, we should have empathy and compassion for those people and try to help them and guide them along. If we see someone fucking up, it isn't for us to point that out or teach them a lesson either. If they're our brother and sister, we should be trying to support them and pick them up. And show them in a healthy, positive way, how they're going about something wrong or where they can improve, This is how we truly grow, and this is why the world will never, ever, ever improve, get better, and this is why the spiritual and truther community is almost non-existent now, too. Because we failed to answer the call, most of us. The ones that are left, thank God there's some of us. I feel like they've answered the call for the most part. And that's why they're still standing. But most did not. Most were susceptible to their own egos and to the same devices that the world has corrupted our politicians and every other person that's ever had a little bit of power. Same way. So now more than ever, it's up to us to truly, truly, truly be personally accountable for ourselves more than anything, and our actions and the things that we say, and to be conscious of our thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors, everything, and realize it's got a fucking huge ripple effect, especially if you are activated and you are awake. Son, you have a huge ripple effect, whether you think you do or not. They wouldn't want to kill you and put your light out, if you didn't have one. If it didn't affect the entire planet by your being awake, then it wouldn't matter to the people trying to keep everyone asleep. Do you understand? And the best way to create good energy and create a self-sustaining energy and a supportive energy for people like us, most especially, and the people we're trying to help, is by helping people. We did not become awake. We did not become aware. We did not become conscious just to serve ourselves. And I cannot stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. There is many practices that talk about, self-love, self-care, and those are all extremely important. And it starts with you. It starts with you. If you can't love yourself, you can't love another person, right? You have to heal your wounds. You have to take care of the things you need to take care of within you in order to be better energy and a higher consciousness and higher frequency and a better vibration for the planet as a whole. But it can't be all about you or only about you. You learn how to master yourself and your energy so you can help others. So you can heal others. We try to accumulate wealth and things like that, not so we can hoard it and be greedy, but so we can give it to others and share it with others and take care of others. We learn how to master our emotions and heal our trauma and our wounds. Why? So we can be open in our hearts to the world. So we can give love freely to all who need it and want it. You know? We master our thoughts. That way we have clarity. And we can share our knowledge with others. We put ourselves in dangerous situations and go through so much so we have the wisdom to share through our experience with others. So they don't have to go through the same bad things we have. So they can take our word for it. They don't have to experience it firsthand always. And everything that you do know that goes beyond the norm, all of the gifts that you do have, I want you to think about how you're using them today. Think about how you're using them. You know, think about where you've come from in life and how you got there and, you know, where you're at now. I want you to ask yourself, how do you treat people that you see that are less than you or beneath you? How do you treat people that you see that are in need or, you know, or ask for your love or ask for your attention or ask for your knowledge? How do you do that? You know, we all need to start looking at ourselves and looking at the kind of people we actually are. You know, it does no good to lie to ourselves and just try to say, well, just because I'm awake, just because I'm aware, I'm a good person. No, it's not true. If we actually want to make a difference in our world, then we have to, you know, we have to actually make a difference in our world. So, you know, that's it for the soapbox. But I feel strongly about these things, man. And like I said, I think it's been incredibly surprising to me. It's actually blown my ass away, honestly. It's broken my heart quite a bit, really. You know, to see the only people that can really actually save our world, the only people that can really actually make a difference in someone's life or be there for each other, they're not answering the call. They're not stepping up. It's not because they can't step up. That's not the reason at all. It's because they don't want to. You know? Or they're too selfish to. And that's a shame. You know, it's a damn shame. Because I can tell you right now, the world needs us. The world needs us. Our friends, our family needs us. Our children, our grandchildren need us. I need you. You know? We need each other, so what are we waiting on? You know, what are we waiting on? Why do we have to wait till there's a tragedy or a catastrophe to give, to love, you know, to share, to support, to be there for each other? Why do we have to wait for that? You know? Why can't we do it before those things happen and avoid them altogether? Okay. So, brighten the corner that you're in. Well, a corner is an angle. You know, a corner is an angle, which is in the cube. It's in the box. I say get out of the corner, period. Get out of the angles, period. Stop living in a box. Get out of the box. You know, it's time to be free. Like you have permission to be free now. That's what you've earned the right to by sticking out all the targeting and persecution and poverty and struggle and all of that. That was your rite of passage. Those dark nights of the soul, that's your rites of passage to illumination. You know, and each one of us have a different gift and different magnetic qualities about us, you know. Some of us are speakers. You know, and we command attention of people, or we attract people and sexual energy and things like that. Some of us attract money. You know, some of us attract, some of us attract war, conflict. It all just depends on our energy, you know, but we all have different gifts, you know. And we need to use whatever gifts we do have to benefit one another. You know, let's take it past ourselves now. And let's start really valuing the communities that we do have left, because there ain't very many. And let's make them a real force to be reckoned with. And you know how we do that? It's by uniting within them. Truly. You know. Truly. And we're only as strong as our weakest link. So if one of us is down bad and struggling, or one of us is getting left behind, then all the rest of us, we need to go pick that person up and love on them. And make sure they're with us. You know. I don't care what guru tells you to leave them behind and they'll learn and catch up. Fuck that. You know, if you seen a man drowning and you knew how to swim, you know, would you just keep walking past as you watched him flail in the water? Or would you throw a fucking lifesaver out there? You know? Would you wait till they passed out and then swim out and go grab them? Or would you just watch them float across the top of the surface and say, oh, well, they're gone? You know? If they're truly meant to get it, they'll somehow miraculously flip over and start sucking air again. It's like, no. No decent human being in the right fucking mind would just let somebody die. Would just let others suffer. And we can justify, and we do, but we can justify in our minds why we don't do things, why we don't help, why we don't contribute, why we don't say something, why we don't do this, and why we don't do that, all we want. The truth of the matter is we're not doing it, no matter what our excuse is. You know? And it's not that we owe anyone anything. We don't. We owe it to ourselves. And we owe it to each other for sticking together as long as we have, and for pushing together as long as we have. We owe some sense of loyalty to one another. Do we not? to say, okay, hey, you know what? You need a hand up, and I'm here. You need someone to talk to, I got you. You know, like, or else what are we doing any of this for? All right, let's jump in this. We should go to struggling souls. We have struggling souls right in our own community, is my point. You know, you don't have to go to the soup kitchen to find them. You don't have to, you don't have to look far. They're in this chat room right now. Shit, they're hosting this show right now. We all have struggles. That's what I'm saying. We have struggling souls right here. You know, and we're the ones on the front line of the spiritual battle, of the information war, of all of it, right? So we're the ones who struggle the most. So, like, if we're not supporting one another, you know, we're in trouble. Our army's weak that way. You know, and it is spiritual warfare, ultimately. And it's a war with ourselves. More importantly. And the only person that loses when we fail these tests, and that's what they are, is tests. You know, God is testing you. In a multitude of ways. You know, and a lot of us are failing those tests. Whenever an opportunity presents itself to do something right, to help someone, to do something good, and you pass that opportunity, you failed the test. Those are the synchronicities. And people don't get it. They're like, oh, I didn't see 333 behind it. I didn't see a butterfly fly by when someone asked me for this or that, or when someone said this or that. I didn't see a red bird. It's like, you fucking idiot. Not all synchronicities come in some fantastical way. That's horseshit. You know? You want to know what your purpose is? You want to know what your mission is on Earth? There it is. You want to know what a real synchronicity is? There it is. You want to know what the real test is? There it is. You know? Why are we mystifying everything like religion does? It don't have to be like that. And it's not like that. Spiritual knowledge can be practically applied in life, and it should be, or else it's fucking useless. You know? It's like people are just missing it big time on a lot of things. It's like, that's the disconnect, I think. That's the disconnect. We've been taught by religion and a lot of these spiritual gurus and shit like that. You know, I seen a bird's feather today. Well, you know what? Shit like that does happen. Feathers and birds and butterflies and numbers and colors and all of that are part of synchronicities. And it happens all the time for a lot of people. But it's not the only way. The real tests come in the real world. You know, and in practical ways. You know. In practical ways. You know, how many times are we going to deny each other and then try to act like we're going to, you know, do something for the world? We're denying our own community, our own people, each other, one another. We hang out every day together. You know, we're best friends, really. We're family, really. So, I don't know why we're not seeing it that way yet. And if we're not doing that for the people we're spending every day with, then we're not going to do nothing for a stranger. We're not going to damn sure do nothing for what we consider our enemy. And that's the top of the mountain, is when you can love your enemy. I wish we could call or speak to each other. We can call and speak to each other. I put my phone number out there, so people can't say that I don't. But I will say this, that not everybody is so respectful, of one another's time, of one another's truth, of one another's needs, So not everybody else wants to put their number out there, wants to be contacted, or wants to integrate, or wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Some people, and I hate to say it, guys, but there's a lot of people that come to these chats just to eavesdrop on what's going on, so they can hang people like us, so they can fuck over people like us. So they can better make our lives miserable. So they can better isolate us. So they can see where our struggles and our hardships are and find places to apply more pressure. Somebody's heartbroken in the chat, so let's make sure to block the love in their life. Let's make sure to spread a bunch of rumors that nobody will want to be in love with that person. Oh, John's asking for donations. Let's make sure to block his finances. Let's make sure to say to everyone that, he's actually secretly rich and nobody ever give again. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of that too. And they're the same people that sit next to you every day too. It's the sad part. They come in here every day just like the good ones do. And their sole purpose and sole mission is to make other people miserable, because their existence is miserable. Their lives are miserable. And they're envious that you have found peace in your life. That you're okay with who you are and in your own skin. That you don't need other people to validate you. That you don't need society's standard to say whether or not you're worthy. And that you don't have to conform to anything you don't want to, because you're sovereign and you stand in your own power. They're jealous of that. They're envious of that. They hate you for that. That alone. Why? Because they don't have enough inner strength to do it too. They do. They could. But they take shortcuts and they're lazy. And they cut corners. They just want it handed to them and given to them. They come to these places so they can get everything given to them for free, and then try to use it to actually fucking harm people. They take the occult knowledge, the esoteric knowledge, and use it to harm, to manipulate, to capitalize on others' weaknesses. It's sad, really. It's sad. Those people are pathetic. And it makes my heart actually goes out to them. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them. I can't imagine what goes on inside the mind of a person like that. How they feel about themselves to do those kind of things to other people. That's insane. It's true. It's fucking true. And anybody who's been around for a long time knows it's true. Straight up. Knows it's true. And I've met some of you guys in real life. And some of you guys have been the most beautiful people I've ever met. And some of you guys have been sacks of shit in real life. And have tried to screw me over in real life. So I know there's both. You know, and I'm not going to say names on who's who and who's did what. But I'm just saying, you know, they caved into a pressure. And then they're mad that you don't cave into that same pressure. You know, so we're always going to have that kind of thing. And we're always going to be fighting against that kind of thing. So we just got to keep our heads up and keep pushing forward. But right now we're fighting against asteroids, okay? And bullshit from NASA. NASA plans to protect Earth against asteroid impact. Here's how. And I asked this question the other day. I'll ask it again. How many of you guys actually think NASA has the capability to stop an asteroid at all? Just a simple yes or no would work. How many people think NASA could actually stop an asteroid at all with any method or any technology that humanity currently has? In the current moment, could NASA stop an asteroid at all? I'd love to hear the answer to that. Yes or no? No, not. Yeah, I'm thinking no. No, I'm not seeing one yes yet. Nobody's got faith in NASA? Nobody? Huh? Nobody? Nobody believes in NASA? Alright. Matter of fact, here, hold on. I don't know if I can flip this video over. What would happen if an asteroid was going to strike the Earth? Could anyone save us? Check out this NASA plan to protect Earth against an asteroid impact. There's a nice little groovy picture there. You see those energy waves. The Earth getting pounded so damn hard. Earth's orbit has been bombarded with asteroids. Flybys this month, more than 35 asteroids just whizzing past Earth one by one, and more on the way. Now, although these asteroids have passed by Earth safely, there will come a time when one of them will be on course for impact with the Earth. Just last year, a humongous 525-foot asteroid flew so close past Earth that it caused a panic among scientists. Well, someone is keeping a close watch on all this activity, and it's NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office who has a responsibility of keeping a check on these NEOs that fly past Earth at a distance closer than 28 million miles. Has an asteroid ever struck the Earth before? Although asteroids safely passed near Earth these past few weeks, it doesn't mean a collision with Earth isn't in the cards. In fact, an asteroid was the reason behind the extinction of one of the largest species on the planet nearly 65 million years ago, dinosaurs. According to Alvarez's hypothesis, the extinction was caused by a massive asteroid which crashed on Earth more than 65 million years ago. The asteroid terraformed the planet and is likely the reason that started the extinction of dinosaurs, since scientists have the impact crater of the asteroid in Chicxulub near the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. NASA's plan to protect Earth against an asteroid impact. A $240 million mission, and there's the big fucking thing. And I see, look, no. Nobody believes NASA has the capability. I think it's unanimous in the chat. Everybody thinks NASA is a bunch of fucktards. But we pay these fucktards $240 million in taxpayer money for one project. That's one project alone. Right? $240 $240 million just for this. So imagine all the other bullshit missions they do and all the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars they're raking in. That's why I was trying to say, you know, if we ever wanted to save the channel, the best way to do it is by saying we're going to space. You know, that is the best hustle you could ever come up with, period. Is saying we're going to space. You know, that will get everybody and their tax dollars in your pocket instantly. And truth be told, you know, we do need help to actually save the channel. I told you guys September will be my last month doing this full time. So, for a lack of support. So I'm not even going to get into that. I don't want to bring it on no Debbie Downer stuff. But, you know, guys, we do need your help big time. Need your support if you want to see this keep going. So, $240 million in NASA mission is already in motion to the direct deflect an asteroid of the collision course with Earth by smashing a spacecraft into it at a staggering speed of 23,000 kilometers per hour. The mission is named Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART. The aim of the mission is to smash a spacecraft into Dimorphos asteroid to deflect it away from its path. In fact, there are two asteroids involved. The larger asteroid is Didymos, and the smaller asteroid, Dimorphos, which is its moonlet. While this asteroid is in no way threatens Earth, the NASA asteroid mission is to carry out an experiment to gain greater knowledge as to what happens when the craft is smashed against a space rock. This knowledge will be used if an actual asteroid threatens to crash against the Earth. It will help avert an Armageddon on Earth and perhaps even save humanity from extinction. And remember, in my dream that actually, got me to start this channel, it was a giant striped planet with a moon that had hit the Earth. Swear to God. So, I don't know. I'm just saying. Very strange. This is coming up in September. So we're going to find out. And I doubt this fucking tuna can is going to stop an asteroid, but that's my opinion. I do know the backup plan is to actually use like satellites with directed energy, you know, to try to like cut it in half or whatever, or push it off course too, if that doesn't work out. But guys, Didymos, Dimorphos, there's been so much involved with these two particular bodies. You know, who knows what could happen and what could go wrong. Wouldn't that be some shit if they blamed DART, the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, on why the asteroid hit? If they were like, yeah, we smashed into it and now it's on course with colliding into the Earth. You know what I mean? Like, that would be crazy. And I wouldn't even be surprised, just to keep it real. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Matter of fact, here we go. Where am I at? NASA is actually inviting the media to witness the world's first planetary defense test. So, NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART, the world's first mission to test technology for defending Earth against a potential asteroid or comet hazard, will impact its target, which poses no threat to Earth, at 7:14 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, September 26th, which that's after my birthday, but my birthday is actually about to be here. So at least I'll get to see my birthday before the planet gets smashed by a giant asteroid. Among other activities, NASA will host a televised briefing beginning at 6 p.m. on September 26th from the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory in Laurel, Maryland. APL is a manager of the DART spacecraft for NASA. The test will show a spacecraft that can autonomously navigate to a target asteroid and intentionally collide with it to change the asteroid's motion in a way that can be measured using ground-based telescopes. DART will provide important data to help better prepare for an asteroid that might pose an impact hazard to Earth should one ever be discovered. The following is a list of DART's impact activities with asteroid Dimorphos. So, let's see when it'll actually do it. 714 DART's kinetic impact with asteroid Dimorphos. Big Gematria Day on September 23rd. 9/23 FYI. Well, Eric, if you have any cool things with the gematria on that, I'd like to actually drop it in the chat. I'll read them off. Drop them in the chat. I'd love to hear it. But so here you go. So the whole world's going to be watching as this takes place. You know, I mean, right? No big deal. While NASA scares the hell out of us with a potential giant asteroid impact on Earth, new Hawaii state law is about to ban astronomy on the holy Mauna Kea, the hotspot for NEO discovery. Say what? Yeah, this is real. This is the shit they do, y'all. Like, this is craziness. And how many fucking observatories and cams and all of that have been shut down? As a result of as a result of what people capture, right, on those things. We get on those cameras and we make fucking YouTube videos showing giant ass space rocks and planets whizzing by, and they're like, yeah, we're shutting down this observatory. We're shutting this down. Yeah. So, the key element of NASA's planetary defense effort is the NEO Observations Program, which is composed of projects to find, track, and characterize NEOs. To do so, they need a clear sky and telescopes. One of those is the Infrared Telescope Facility. It's located at 13,800-foot summit of Mauna Kea on the Big Island of Hawaii. The IRTF is used to study physical characteristics of NEOs and provide rapid response to newly discovered close approach NEOs. In addition to characterizing NEOs, IRTF is used to study bodies throughout the solar system and for astrophysics investigations outside the system, all through open, peer-reviewed, competent observing time allocation. And now, a new state law is about to ban astronomy research on top of the Holy Mountain. That's weird, no? Yeah, and think about it too. It's infrared. Okay, so not only does it help them track, near Earth objects like asteroids, it's infrared. And if you think about Nemesis, Planet X, Planet 9, right? Wormwood, that proton planet or proto-star or neutron star or comet planet, whatever you think it is, it's said to only be observed in the infrared light spectrum, And the fact that they're even using the word phrasing Holy Mountain, saying that you can't observe the stars from the Holy Mountain, I think is very symbolic as well, right? Of a lot of the things that are taking place right now. How the Holy Mountain is basically being banned all across the globe, if you think about it, considering 90% of every country's population has already destroyed their Holy Mountain, their holy temple within themselves, right? So the symbolism there, just in itself, to me, says a lot, right? And when we look at the different light spectrums as well, the Holy Mountain observing the infrared, which would be the lower, darker light spectrum, right? So just saying, blocking people from being able to see those lower, darker stars from the Holy Temple. Very symbolic. Some people say I'm reaching, but I see things that way. It says for more than 50 years, telescopes and the needs of astronomers have dominated the summit of Mauna Kea, a mountain sacred to native Hawaiians and also one of the finest places in the world to study the night sky. It's now changing a new state law saying Mauna Kea must be protected for future generations and that science must be balanced with culture and the environment. Native Hawaiian cultural experts will have voting seats on the new governing body instead of merely advising the summit managers as they do now. The shift comes after thousands of protesters camped in the mountain 3 years ago to block the construction of a state-of-the-art observatory. Joint policymakers and astronomers into realizing the status quo had to change, right? So they're stopping it because probably paid fucking protesters, blocked it. And that's the craziest part about it, man. I have no idea when it comes to this shit anymore. Native Hawaiian advocates want to protest the site of great spiritual importance. Astronomers hope they'll be able to renew leases for states and underneath their observatories due to expire in 11 years and continue making revolutionary scientific discoveries for decades to come. Businesses and political leaders are eager for astronomy to support well-paying jobs in a state that has long struggled to diversify its tourism-dependent economy. We've been here for centuries, we're not gone, we're still here, and we have knowledge that we would produce a feasible management situation that would be more inclusive. So, there you have it with that, guys, right? And we've got a lot that's getting ready to jump off the back of this next part of the show. We're going to go ahead and switch gears into... Okay, yeah. We're going to go ahead and switch gears here into HARP and DARPA and all of that right after this article. So if that's the part you're actually waiting for, it's coming up next. The messages that survived the apocalypse. The Sumerians, Maya, and other ancient cultures created text that have lasted hundreds and even thousands of years. Here's what they can teach us about crafting an immortal message. More than 2,000 years ago, in a temple in the city of Borsippa in ancient Mesopotamia, in what is now modern-day Iraq, a student was doing his homework. His name was Nabu Kursurshu, and he was training to be a temple brewer. His duties involved brewing beer for religious offerings, but also learning to keep administrative records on clay tablets in cuneiform script, and preserving ancient hymns by making copies of worn-out tablets. These daily tasks and his devotion to beer, writing, and knowledge made him part of an extraordinary, resilient literacy legacy. Cuneiform has already been around for roughly 3,000 years by the time Nabu Kursurshu picked up his reed stylus, and it was invented by the Sumerians, who initially used it to record rations of food and indeed beer paid to workers or delivered to temples. Over time, Sumerian texts became more complex, recording beautiful myths and songs, including one celebrating the goddess of brewing, Ninkasi, and her skilled use of the fermenting vat, which makes a pleasant sound. When Sumerians gradually slid out of common use and was replaced by the more modern Akkadian, scribes cleverly wrote long lists of signs in both languages, essentially creating ancient dictionaries to make sure the wisdom of the oldest tablets would always be understood. Nabu Kursurshu's generation, who would have spoken Akkadian or maybe Aramaic in everyday life, was among the last to use a cuneiform script. But he probably assumed that he was just one ordinary young writer in a long line of writers, preserving cuneiform for many more generations under the benevolent eye of Nabu, the god of writing and the scribe of the universe. Remember, scribe, the word, the written word. He faithfully copied the old tablets, noting down, for example, the Sumerian sign, pronounced U, could mean marriage gift, burglar, or buttocks. He wrote on the tablet that he copied them for his own study. perhaps as practice or scholarship, and placed them in the temples as an offering. He's learning how to write and learning these lists alongside other things, and then dedicating his work to the god Nabu in the temple. It was these humble lists quietly written in the shadow of a giant ziggurat, a pyramid-shaped stepped temple tower that would earn Nabu Kurkashu immortality. Many of us may daydream about writing a message that can be read in thousands of years' times, be it to share a wonderful poetry with future generations or warn them about hazards lurking in nuclear waste. What's easy to forget is that not a mere thought experiment, people have successfully crafted immortal messages, or at least very long-lasting ones in the past. Some of them, like Nabu Kurkashu, even left us a key to entire civilizations. In the 19th century, scholars were racing to decipher a mysterious language found on a cracked, charred tablet dug up from the sand-covered ruins of Mesopotamian temples and palaces. Sumerian, which had been thoroughly lost and forgotten. What had made the challenges particularly tricky is that Sumerian is not related to any other known language, but the scholars had recently deciphered Akkadian thanks to its links to surviving languages such as Arabic and Hebrew. And they had also found the ancient scribes' Sumerian Akkadian clay list, which they could use as a dictionary. Among them, one set of tablets stood out for its pristine condition and distinctive fine script. Nabu Kurkashu's tablets. They were found next to some broken pillars and bricks where archaeologists opened the long-buried rooms of the temple at Borsapa around 1880. A lot of what we know about Sumerian is via this one man, Nabu Kurkashu, says Christotomo. He believes a young scribe who would have been in his late teens or early 20s produced nearly a quarter of all known copies of bilingual sign that has proved crucial in the decipherment. To give you an idea of the size of his impact, these lists help unlock Sumerian records spanning 3 millennia of history, including the Sumerians pioneering a use of the wheel, the 60-minute hour, and altogether across different languages there are other than 1 million cuneiform texts from ancient Near East, and we can read them thanks to eternal clues left by ordinary scribes like Nabu Kurkashu. And most thoughts and ideas are expressed by humans barely survive the present moment. Human history is strewn with references to those that vanished, not just individual messages, but entire languages, and with them the memories of the societies that spoke them. Who remembers Gushan, a language of the ancient world? Thousands of years ago, someone gave a Gushan translator a payment of beer, according to Sumerian clay receipt, and that's pretty much all we know about Gushan. Whatever the Gushan people felt, whatever they wished to tell the world is lost. All that remains of them are some rather unflattering descriptions by the Sumerians. On the other hand, there are messages that outlasted centuries of warfare, invasions, natural disasters, even the Spanish-destroyed mountains of Maya books. Scripts survived in rare, bark manuscripts and on stone monuments extending a lifeline to ancient myths and prophecies. What's the secret of such extraordinary literary longevity? I put that question to 3 experts, some of the world's oldest languages and scripts, and asked them how they would write their own message to the future based on their insights. All of them mentioned certain material aspects, of course. Clay and stone are more durable than paper or digital recording methods. The right climate and environment help with the preservation, and cuneiform were in fact often baked and hardened by the fire of burning cities under attack. But the experts' most compelling insights were about the writers themselves. When talking about the writing from the distant past, can be tempting to portray it some of an accidental pile of historical debris. Nabu's legacy, for example, may seem like a fluke, the brewer's tablets that turned out to be kind of a Rosetta Stone, but according to the scholars, it's not at all due to luck and coincidence. Instead, it's certain habits, values, and decisions that may not exactly guarantee literary immortality, but at least improve its chances. Of course, the best way to test these factors would be to run a controlled experiment where different scripts are exposed to challenges, say the collapse of civilization, to see which survives. We don't have anything quite like that in history, but we have something that comes a bit close. Cyprus had a catastrophe. Crete and Greek mainland, their palaces are gone. Writing stops, dies out. There's some sort of economic collapse. Settlements abandoned. But even as life changed dramatically, the locals continued to write their script and experiment with new ones, borrowing techniques from different literate cultures around them. On Crete, the palace is gone. Everything seemed to vanish, as if society forgets how to write. This is particularly striking, given that Crete is where Europe's oldest scripts evolved, dating back to at least 1800 BC. But its fine legacy is wiped out with the Mycenaean elite collapses. And when the people in Greece began to write again centuries later, it's a totally different script. Imported from abroad, their own older tradition is lost forever. In Greece, if you've lost Mycenaean palaces, there just don't seem to be any literacy at all for a while, says Philippe Steele. Between 1200 and around 8th century, there is nothing as far as we can tell, while Cyprus remains literate throughout the whole period. Think about that, though. Could it be because they wasn't communicating in the same way in ancient Greece before perhaps the gods came along and humanity was conquered the way that we have been? Could it be we were communicating telepathically, or was in a different era of awareness and consciousness and had no need to write elementary things down on rocks and wood and cave walls and stuff, because we all had memories that stored all of it, or had access to our genetic data bank, the Akashic record that stored all of our memories and information? Could it be? Could it be that there was no reason to write things down because we could communicate telepathically, subconsciously? So why send a letter when you can speak through your mind? Just saying, we never consider that the most ancient civilizations, the reason their writing changed, the reason that they're not doing the things that more modernized cultures did, is because they were maybe far more advanced than what they did. Consciously, spiritually, mentally. Maybe they had capabilities and gifts that we can't even begin to perceive or understand in our current state. It seems like once the gods got involved that's when mankind started writing shit down. And it was said that the gods, or the fallen, the watchers, the messengers, are the ones who taught us these skills, right? Reading and writing and metallurgy and, all of that, right? But were these crafts or skills that were taught to us, were they really a benefit to humanity? Or were they a hindrance? In our original state, were we one mind, really? Right? Collectively able to communicate, speak, and know each other's feelings, emotions, and thoughts. Had infinite access to our genetics, our DNA, the Akashic record, and more than 10% of our brains. We're able to heal ourselves through thoughts, understood the way magnetics work. We're able to build pyramids and temples and all these things without ever lifting a finger, just by simply using energy and magnetics to move them. It's clear that there was electricity in the Great Pyramids and stuff. There was light bulbs and depicted all over the walls, but there's, no sign of torches that were ever there, and not enough oxygen in them to hold a torch. How did humans discover sex? Well, exactly. If you look at the first book of Adam and Eve, it talks about we were split into two. that we were one solid being, one godlike being, right? And they split us masculine and feminine. That way they didn't have to keep making copies or replicas of Adam, basically, of the original slave race that they genetically altered, right? So they gave us the gift of reproduction. That way, they didn't have to keep making copies, and we would fragment ourselves through sex, right? So every time we would have sex and make a baby, our soul got a piece smaller, right? When we mix the two, each of us lost a little bit of our life force. That's what it takes to make a soul, So we got a little bit smaller, more easier to control, more easier to manage, and there was more of the slave race that was genetically altered. That's some of the theories that are out there about that. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for letting your heart bleed to us. Very inspiring. I love you, brother. So happy for your existence. Well, thank you. Seriously. At first you were like, dude, get to it. That's so funny. Some people do that sometimes. They're like, video starts 17 minutes in. In the comment section. But I like to do that. I like to talk a little bit before I jump into the subject matter. Sometimes I just spend the whole video talking. It just depends on how I feel, But I like to let my heart bleed when I'm on the channel because it's the only place I get to let it bleed. I have no outlet like that in my real life. I'll let you know if I ever meet somebody that allows me to do it with them, I'll let you know if I ever meet somebody that actually accepts me as is or understands me even. You guys are more than welcome to let me know if you do too. Some of you guys do have that though, probably. It's hard to come by though, People ask me when they find out what I do for, a job. First off, it's like, I'm a content creator, and like, what do you talk about? It's like, Planet X's, spirituality, I'm trying to come up with all this shit, everything they've never heard of. It's like, yeah. I will miss doing this. I definitely will. So, let's move on. Let's move to HAARP and the crazy fucking weather. So here we go. I'm going to try to play a short clip of this. I don't know, how well this is going to work out. My clips haven't been playing the way I've been wanting them to. I think it's just computer, but we'll see. If it doesn't play well, then I will just switch right back. But here you go.
HAARP stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project and is described as a research instrument for studying the ionosphere. An ionospheric heater, or ionospheric radiation instrument, IRI, of which many exist, but HAARP is special. The ability to focus energy and the unprecedented amount in gigawatts, billions of watts, make it literally millions of times more effective at heating the region about 150 miles above the Earth's surface. The atmosphere has most of its density below 30 miles altitude. The ionosphere is the very thin layer above that absorbs dangerous ultraviolet radiation and makes life possible on Earth. There is very little mixing normally between the two layers, but disturbances in the ionosphere translate to changes in weather, such as normally occurring sunspots and the solar wind. The main idea behind HAARP is the ability to direct electrons along the naturally occurring magnetic field lines of the Earth and accelerate them to near the speed of light, to form a protective shell of highly excited particles that not only block communications worldwide, but destroy missiles in their trajectory as they descend from space. The effects can be localized by punching a hole through the ionosphere to superheat an area 30 kilometers in diameter into a plasma shield. Any missile or aircraft would be destroyed that tried to fly through the plasma, which is the fourth state of matter. A hole in the ionosphere above an enemy country could kill by allowing the solar radiation to strike the surface of the Earth unhindered. Weather modification can also be used as an instrument of warfare by manipulating the electrojet and the jet streams which dictate climate. The publicly stated aim is C3, or Communications, Command, and Control. The margin of victory in war is to block or intercept enemy communications and to secure your own. The signals in the ELF range and heard anywhere in the world, and are used for Earth-penetrating tomography, basically finding enemy submarines or underground bases. Volcanoes and earthquakes cause electromagnetic disturbances, and it is theorized that EM disturbances might themselves trigger earthquakes and volcanoes. Dr. Richard Williams says the high-energy experiments will generate the equivalent of the output of 10 to 100 large power generating stations, and that tests of these kinds could cause irreversible damage, unquote. HAARP is the world's largest electromagnetic broadcasting station and may represent an escalation in the electromagnetic wars. The project is a creation of the U.S. Air Force and Naval Research. Publicly, it is an ionospheric research instrument, but it can be used to control weather and sweeps that can be used for mind control of large populations. HAARP, located 30 miles from Fairbanks, Alaska,
can be used for mind control of large populations. Think about that. And if you think about some of these other patents that are very, very similar to HAARP, pertaining to radio signals and electromagnetic frequency, it looks a lot like television for mind control as well. Just strange, coincidence, I guess. But this is what I'm talking about at the very beginning. Many people say it's just a conspiracy. It goes far beyond just weather modification, geoengineering. They can tear holes in the ionosphere and allow large amounts of radiation in and use it as a weapon to kill massive amounts of population. Now imagine something that also has the ability, because of the nanoparticulates and things of that nature that are being blanketed in the sky, with the ability to refract light, bend light, like through Project Bluebeam. You can make it look like there was a giant planet in the sky and tear a hole in the sky, allow a bunch of radiation in, and stage an entire whatever you wanted. Asteroid impact, Planet X passing, World War, alien invasion. You can do whatever you wanted with this, as well as create catastrophic weather. Beyond comprehension catastrophic weather. Hurricanes like Hurricane Harvey that literally stopped a mile off the coast for 2 hours building strength, and then decided to come in and wreck everything. Right? Or storms that completely change direction to make specific landfall on specific destinations that would be very beneficial to governments if they were no longer in service or around, so to speak, or groups of populations. So, I mean, if you think about the true capabilities of this, especially coinciding with the launching of our very own Starlink, which is basically Skynet, right, where we're blanketing the sky with satellites with capabilities not to just transmit radio frequencies, but millimeter waves, amongst many other things. Tap that in with Doppler all over the ground, cell phone towers, radio towers, fifth generation towers. It looks like we got a pretty good network built up everywhere of all different sorts of frequencies to have all different sorts of capabilities. Add that in with nanoparticles being dumped consistently out of the back of planes day in and day out, blanketing the skies and everything else on planet Earth, including in our water and all of that. And being hammered with these frequencies on a daily basis as the wireless coverage of the invisible web that covers the entirety of our planet intensifies daily. Then you see the interconnectedness of an electrical system, whether it's artificially manufactured or something organic like our own electromagnetic cells, and how our brains and nervous systems all run off electrical synapses and the firing back and forth of those components. And how algorithms and all of these things within this web are being used to data mine all of us and creating Internet of Bodies through the medical field, Internet of Things through all of our appliances with digital receivers. And the mandate to essentially eradicate analog technology that would essentially allow us to have control of, radio frequency and all of that at our fingertips and put it into the hands of Big Brother. The development of D-Wave technology, these quantum computation, with neural networks that are sentient, self-aware, and they have their own fucking heartbeats. Tapping into other realities, parallel dimensions, including the ones that your consciousness exists in as well. You see the flux in the magnetic field. You wonder, well, if something is being beamed to that field, concentrated plasma, wouldn't that kind of generate flux in the field? Auroras as well. These earthquake machines. That's how it's done. Or what if the entire population had some type of, let's just say hypothetically, the DoD was involved with something like an Apogee delivery system that had a dual component to deliver not only like a, let's say hypothetically, like an RFID chip, right, to be able to receive radio frequencies and all of that, and add identification to the components within your system, as well as some type of like graphene or hydrogel substance, right, that was water soluble and able to infiltrate every crack and crevice of your body that had water, as well as replace the carbon structure of your system with a crystalline matrix within your system or grid through the graphene that was magnetic and conductive and would flow through your nervous system and your spinal cord, your brain, whatever, right? Able to send or receive signals and transmit data as well. And all that was connected with all this as well. My oh my, what a weird reality that would be. They could take a natural organic world and turn it into a simulation, could they not? An electromagnetic holographic simulation, and tell you it was always that way, and you'd fucking believe it. Because they can literally shift your consciousness out of the reality it was currently in into a new one, and you'd never know the difference. You just get weird things like the Mandela effect and shit. Certain, odd changes. Be really strange, wouldn't it? They had that kind of capability, or somebody really wanted to do that. Why would somebody want to do that? Let's say if they knew the future, they knew the outcome through different prophecies and stuff of how something was going to end, and they wanted to change the way it ended. Well, the ideal solution to me would be what? To change the reality that you're in. To use media and things like that to change the script too. You could inject stimuli into the media, into the collective consciousness by using neuro-linguistic programming, words that have a negative connotation attached to them to manipulate the way that we behave and react. And that stimuli would in turn create some type of reaction within the population, changing the outcome. Or manipulating to get a specific outcome. Problem, reaction, solution is what it's called. You could steer the entire planet and all of humanity into an entirely different fate and in destiny than what was prophesied to start with. Or you could write a script and call it prophecy, and then guide humanity to an entire fate or destiny that destroyed all of them if it was, let's say, alien or extraterrestrial, through the use of this technology.
Is the real focus of anti-missile defense that SDI, the Strategic Defense Initiative, purported to be, and much more. The public patent was titled A Method and Apparatus for Altering a Region of the Earth's Atmosphere, Ionosphere, and Magnetosphere. Dr. Bernard Eastland, a physicist who holds a patent for the fusion torch, also holds about a dozen other related patents that were eventually purchased by E-Systems and Raytheon. Patent number 4686605 claims the following uses. Cause total disruption of all forms of communications over a very large portion of the Earth. Missile or aircraft destruction. Deflection or confusion. Weather modification by altering solar absorption. Also altering composition of the atmosphere. This patent was classified by the Navy under National Security Order in 1987, but
yeah. How about it? Excuse me. Let's see some comments here. Everybody hit that like, hit that thumbs up if you're in the chat, man. Okay, this video may not stay up very long. Excuse me, I got the hiccups now. Yeah. Excuse me, Jesus. If science is a lie, and the great scientists tell you openly that they have no idea, why are we still listening to them? It's a good fucking question, right? Good question. Let's go into a few of these here. Monsoon hammers Laramie, Wyoming, Corpus Christi, Texas, and kills 3 in Sonora, Mexico. Our weather and climate is being constantly weaponized. Here I expose some of the latest consequences of geoengineering in the U.S. and Mexico. Nice little picture there. Those are condensation trails, children, right? And we all know that every time that, steam and fog comes out of something as a result of condensation, it leaves like a 20-mile long fucking trail behind us whenever it's cold outside or something, right? And that's why it happens behind these planes. Those are not chemicals being dumped into the atmosphere. Just so we're straight. There's no such thing as chemtrails. Alright? Just want you to know that. Get that shit straight. We gotta make sure you understand. Damn crazy conspiracy theorist. Saturday in Laramie. From a pleasant summer day to a sledgehammering deluge of heavy rain and large hail with lightning strikes directly over town. A monsoon storm hit Laramie at about 4 p.m. in some places, dumping more than 2 inches of rain in less than 2 hours. Streets became ponds and curbside gutters turned into roiling rivers. A sunken green space near Scout Park just east of North 22nd Street became an impromptu lake. It drew curious onlookers after the storm passed, as well as few bolder souls who waded out into the water. During the peak of the storm, large hailstones, enough to hurt, came hurtling down. Venturing outside without a hard hat would have been ill-advised. Let's see if we can actually see some of this.
Torrential downpour caused flooding in many areas of Laramie. The videos show that there was hail in Laramie as well.
Yeah, so a lot of the time a monsoon rainstorm happens out over the prairie and not populated areas, so people assume such storms are unusual. The storms are caused when warm, moist air masses from Mexico, Central America collide with cooler air over in mountains of Wyoming and Colorado, typically late July and early August. Said Day, who hosts a weather podcast for Cowboy State Daily, the atmosphere is really primed, typically this time of year, to produce these really heavy rains. It's like a monsoon with those giant raindrops coming down in a deluge. Fake? What's fake? Is the rain fake? Or the hail's fake? Or not trying to see you, fake. Please tell me which part of that it was fake. You lost me there, fam. Are they not actually sitting out in the rain, or it's really hard for urban drainage to keep up with that? These events tend to be highly localized. A few miles outside of town, there wasn't even a half inch of rain. Or are you saying that this was like fake, as in staged, like a prop type shit, like a movie set type shit? Is that what you're saying? You gotta, you can't just say fake. You gotta back it up. You know what I mean? If you're going to put that out there, we got to understand like why it's fake. You got to educate people, so I have seen, so I'm going to like defend where I think you may be coming from. Fresh News 24/7. I think you may be coming from the angle of staging these type of things. I have seen that where they will fucking say something exploded or blew up or whatever, and you'll see literally they'll take an area and they'll knock down all the trees, mow over all the the grass and bushes and shit, and throw a bunch of garbage out in the frame, and you'll see literally 5 feet away from where the camera frame is, everything's perfectly fine. As if, like, a tropical storm hit only a 20 fucking square foot area and nowhere else. So I have seen staged things like that. So if that's what you're referring to, that's possible. but I'm not sure. Yeah, it does happen. But, I mean, honestly, though, I mean, monsoon rains and hail is not unbelievable. And the amount of times I myself have reported on, you know, insane amounts of rain happening in a short period of time. You know, 6 months of rain in fucking 2 hours. Like that kind of stuff, that is regular now. It happens on a regular, everyday basis all across the globe. And one could attribute it all to weather modification and geoengineering, right? The manipulation of the jet stream and all of that, and electromagnetism, or one could attribute that to the climate change that's due to external factors, in my opinion, like celestial bodies that are manipulating the magnetic field and causing, different cosmic energies to affect our cycles. So, either or. I don't think that this is fake, but what's happening in the world right now? Yeah, I don't either. Sandra, I agree with you. I don't think it's fake. I think a lot of shit's fake. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of the things that got everybody all masked up and being poked and doing all the distancing and all of those different things, and creating so many different obligations and stipulations everywhere and mandatory this and that. Yeah, one could say that there's some BS going on with all that. But as far as what's taking place across the globe, I mean, there's too much of it in too many different places, and it happens too frequently for it all to be fake. And it doesn't get news coverage either. You notice that whenever there's these giant fucking sinkholes, are they faking these sinkholes that literally are hundreds of feet wide and go thousands and thousands of feet down underground and shit? And we're watching them on videos and shit. People's swimming pools opening up into sinkholes and people being sucked under the earth, never be seen again. Like, that's not fake, or earthquakes, seismic events. Why do they scale them down? You'll see on the USGS official data, it'll be like a 9 earthquake, and by the time it's officially reported, it's down to a 7.3. That's not fake. Yeah. I'm not sure what. I see someone telling someone to go away. They're probably blocked, so I can't see it. If they're a troll, they're blocked, so I can't see what their comments are. So, I mean, fuck them. If people don't like what we show on the channel, if people don't believe what we say, if you don't like me, don't watch, dude. You know what I mean? It's that simple. I don't see why people watch this channel that don't even like me. It's like, what is the point? You know what I mean? What is the point? Or if people totally disagree with everything I say, what is the point? Why are you even here? I mean, I appreciate you being here, if you want to be here, but come on now. Crazy shit. So. And this could be another result of, HARP as well, which we're actually going to look at more of that. Hold on. Let me pull up a couple more of these. Right here. The hand of God. No doubt, John. Yeah, I know, man. It's like, damn, Larry, why they do that shit? Why they do that shit? Why they come here and want to, like, fucking... And most of them talk smack about... Like, they'll sit in the chat and just talk smack about me, is what they'll do. It's like... And I'll tell you what's really crazy about it is the ones that do that are ones that used to be cool with me at one point in time and didn't like that I switched it up on, like either my religious views, or didn't like that I had certain guests on, or don't like, that I ask for donations, or whatever it is, dude. Like, it's just always something. You can't make everybody happy, man, Can't make everybody happy. I'm done. I'm not trying to anymore. I could give a fuck less. Like I said, I'm, September, I'm done. So, done doing it full time for sure. So, I'm just having fun with it while I can, dude. You're sure you're blocked? You're not blocked. I can see ya. How am I lost, bro? He's lost in a terrible thing, trust me. You don't know what I'm in. You don't know my personal life, bro. Okay? So, I'm not going to sit and respond to every troll in the chat, but I am going to tell you this. You don't know what I'm involved in. Okay? For one, you don't know what I'm involved in. You don't know what goes on in my personal life. You don't know what my actual beliefs are on anything. You just know what I say on this channel, and and the information I share, which a lot of it is contradictory because I like to say different points of view. That way everybody can get a different look at something. You don't know what I'm doing, and what happens to me, or why I've been through what I've been through. You don't know those things unless you're a part of the people that are doing it to me. And it's not because I'm lost that I don't get supported. It's not that because I'm lost that I get attacked. I tend to believe it's the opposite is why those things happen. If I was lost, then I'd probably be super fucking wealthy right now. If I was lost, I'd probably, have the support of Big Brother and the system and the media and, all the people. Right? When we talk about that, it's like, Christ said they hated me first. And they'll hate you for my name's sake. You know what I mean? It's like, so if I was lost, I doubt I would be so hated. Is what I'm saying. I thought I'd be struggling so hard, or going through so much, or having so many trials and tribulations over the years. And what's crazy about it is people don't know what I'm going through right now. I'm just getting a lot better at not telling people anymore. I just don't share anymore what I go through. There's no point in doing it. There's no point in letting people know the things that I struggle through, because people honestly don't care. And they don't help you anyway. So there's no point. They criticize you for it. One of the worst mistakes I ever made on this channel was a couple years ago. I let people know about a relapse that I had. I thought that when I did that people would, I don't know what I was thinking, it was stupid, but I thought that it would essentially, bring understanding to, some of the things that was happening at that time, and and I was so judged. And I lost so many viewers for it. And to this day, people still, to this day, fucking 2 years ago, if one of the people happened to stumble back in or something, they'll make a comment about it to this day. It's like I was honest with people, and told them something very personal to me and that was really hard to tell people, especially publicly. You know, it's like I was just flat out abused for it. And it basically, it cost me my channel, my business. Like, that's how many people I lost from it. It's like, wow. You know. So, you know, it's like, whatever, man. I've learned over the years that some things are just better left unsaid. That was a good learning experience, you know? So now I keep those kind of things to myself. You know, if I go through struggles, trials, tribulations, whatever, like, I've learned, like, it's just best to deal with it on your own. You know, but I was under the impression that because so many people come to me with their problems and their issues, you know, like, people write me, email me, text me, call me, DM me when they have something in their life that's going on and they want my opinion or want my thoughts or just want me to listen. You know, and I thought that was the dynamic all the way around. You know, I thought that was the dynamic for me too. I thought that I had that luxury also. Turns out I didn't. So, oh, it's cool, man. Hey, it's all good. That was a couple years ago. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's those who seem to lack the knowledge of the topic at hand that can't handle what is being said, the lack of discernment and understanding. I totally agree. I think it's those that are still trapped into the religious paradigms that when we get into religion and stuff, that get super offended and angry. You, like, feel the flaming anger coming off of them. It's like, oh, you're not you know, spouting off this or that doctrine no more, so, you know, you're going to hell, you know, like, and they're the ones acting like a heathen, you know, like, when they do that. I'm not saying Broken was acting that way, I'm saying just in general, you know, and, oh, thank you for the super chat, I didn't see that, thank you so much for that, I appreciate that so much, thank you, seriously, I'm greatly appreciative. No, you didn't miss too much so far. This is going to be a late one. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I've got still a lot to cover, so they don't have an open mind, and that is the truth, guys. Like, and this is what pisses me off about the tarot too. Let me just go ahead and kick another soapbox topic real fast. I won't dwell on it, but I will say this: like, tarot reading and tarot cards and astrology is a passion of mine. It's something that I thoroughly enjoy. I love to study astrology. And I feel like I'm not that great at it yet, but I'm getting good at it. Okay? I haven't done a lot of astrology videos because I want to be great at it when I really start to do it all the time, but I have done astrology videos. So whenever I got, you know, like a monthly breakdown, I bust them out. And I'm good at personal astrology too, at taking somebody's sign and seeing how it correlates with the energies and stuff. So whatever. But tarot is something that I've worked really hard at to get good at. And I really love it. I love watching tarot videos. It's like something I like. It's, you know, my own personal thing I like. And when I started doing it, I caught hell over that. I mean, that's witchcraft, you're gonna burn in hell. And still to this day, I've got the most enlightened audience on YouTube, hands down. I mean, literally, if you're watching this, you're probably 33rd degree Freemason, or you're a fucking, you know, you're a damn shaman of some type. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that you could probably hex somebody and snatch the soul right out of their body if you watch this channel. You know, that's the type of people this, you know, it's high conscious content, and it's very, very advanced knowledge. It's like you can't get this anywhere else. And I'm not bragging on myself or anything. A lot of it comes right out of the chat, right out of our communities. And, you guys send me a lot of the content, so it's a group effort. But the truth of the matter is, nobody on YouTube talks about what we talk about, goes into the deepest detail as what we do. Nobody's as accurate as we are, not even close, or has the depth of knowledge and range of knowledge and can connect every single topic and subject and string it all together the way that we do either. And I feel like in occult and esoteric knowledge, I'm just flat out shitting on all of them. Like, they don't even compare. So when you come here, you can't even watch something like this if you're not on the level, if you're not ready for it. I feel like some people stumble into this group, and at first it might seem like a bit much, but they catch on immediately because they were called here, and a lot of people bring the knowledge with them too, to add to it and make it better, and make it bigger and make it more. So it's like, to me, it's mind-blowing to see people that are so advanced in their knowledge, so advanced in their practice and their craft, to still be hung up on dogmatic things like tarot cards. It's like, really? Right? Like, really? I mean, aren't you, didn't you just sacrifice a dog last week? Like, why the fuck you concerned about some tarot cards? It's like, come on, man. Like, I don't get it. Why that in particular. I guess it's like, it offends me because I like to do it. So it's like, damn, dude. Either way, that's because we live in a matrix. It is because we live in a matrix. Absolutely, Eric. It's because we live in a matrix. Gematria fits right in with all. Yeah, I love Gematria too. I do too. I love Gematria too. It's being receptive to the downloads when you get them. Absolutely, it's about being receptive to the downloads when you get them. But you got to be in a state of to be able to receive, though, right? Like, Janine, wouldn't you agree? If you actually want to be receptive, you have to be able to receive. And in order to receive, you have to be open, right? And if you're closed-minded and you have preconceived notions, or you're making assumptions, or you have expectations about how something should be, or what it should be, or how it should sound like, or what it should feel like, or, like, you put limitations on yourself and you're not in receptive mode no more, you're not able to receive, so. Eric says, I stumbled in your group years ago, but know that I've had the gift and gone through some of the bullshit that you've gone through. And yeah, with certain groups, and yes, and absolutely. And see, and that's the thing, it's very, very similar experiences. Yeah, we'll leave it at that on that one. All of us have had very similar experiences that have kind of like initiated enlightenment, if you will, right? Like, it's brought that on in our life. We've all been challenged in certain ways and been tested in certain ways in very similar fashions and had a lot of the same trials and hardships. And that's what I love about my audience. I like to call it community better than audience. I don't like the word subscriber and all that. But I feel like I really like the word family the best. But, our family, because whenever I go through something, I always have the sense of there are people that understand it because they've done it already too, and they actually got through it. They went through the other side, and that's a good feeling. That's a comforting feeling, to know that they're watching. And not every one of them actually hates you, Some of them are watching and they're rooting you on and they're hoping you make it through, and they're hoping you get through the other side. So that's a really good feeling. And it makes you feel good about yourself that you have those kind of people with you. Yeah, family. And we are all connected, we really are. You heard a few months ago to accept everything as God is everything, all connected. I know, man. Or you're overstressed. Yeah, well, I am stressed out right now. I'm not going to lie. I'm very stressed out, but I'm doing a very good job of trying not to project that onto other people. When I come into the videos, it's like coming into church for me. It's like I forget about most of it. Not all of it always, not all of it, but I forget about a lot of it. A lot of my problems. And a lot of what's bothering me and a lot of the frustrations in life, because I get to focus on the things that I like to learn about and I like to talk about, and I get to see your guys' one of the things that I used to do a lot on this channel and I stopped doing for a long time, man, but I'm doing again, and I'm noticing the videos are way more fun to make now. It's like I stopped reading the comments forever ago. Like during the live shows, I used to always read the comments and talk to the chat, and it was just so much fun to engage that way. And I got so much better information that way too. Because people would just, drop links and add information and tidbits here and there. And it's like a real live learning experience that way, where we all do it together, But I stopped doing it because of all the criticism and shit, So it's like, in order to not have to deal with the criticism, I just wouldn't look at the chat, or whatever. You loosen up once you get going. It's almost like a break for us. I know, it really is. And you do loosen up too. Once you're like in the flow of it. When I first come in, I'm always a little bit tighter. Because, well, for one, I'm excited. I want to come in with high energy. I don't like to come in all, and all depressed and shit like that. I want to bring in good energy. That way it'll attract good energy, and that way we can amplify the good energy too. So, sometimes we need a break. We do. What I think is hard about this is when you don't, how can I put this? When you're already like struggling, and I hate the financial side of it. That's the worst part, guys. Like honestly, it ruins it. It ruins the channel. It ruins the experience. It ruins all of it for me. Like I wish that wasn't a part of it at all. That's why I'm trying really hard to like find something else I can do as for like career on the financial side, because all of the equipment and the software and the streaming services and all that, it costs a lot of money just to do it. People don't think it does, but it does. And then you have to take care of yourself and live too. And in order to create videos like this and put out this much information, dude, like people don't believe it, but I work about 70, 80 hours a week, every week. And for the last couple of months, I've been lucky to get 1 or 2 donations a week. $5, $20. So I'm working for free. And that puts a ton of stress on me, because it's like I don't have money for me to take care of anything I need to take care of, let alone to pay for the channel in any way, shape, or form, and then they're already censoring everything, so it's like that's extremely stressful. So you can't reach new people, so it's like really, that makes it really hard. And it makes me press too. So it's like I'm like, well, maybe I'm not doing a good enough job, and that's why people don't support or donate or whatever. So I make more content and I work harder, and I start pressing more and more, and it's just more and more pressure. You know what I mean? It's just like it makes it worse and worse, and then I don't have fun doing it anymore. And then I'm pushing so hard to just be able to get by, that nobody wants to support because they think that's all I care about is money. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, and it ruins it. So it's like, damn, that part I hate, for real. I really do. I wish I didn't have to do that. The super chat, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chats. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. I appreciate that. Like, we've done so much for so long together. We've been through so much together, and we've learned so much together. Even though I've struggled so much, I feel like an emotional attachment to doing this, because not only is it a passion of mine to learn about these things and to have the interaction with like minds, like I crave it, I need it. I started this channel because I needed other people like me in my life, some way, even though it's just through a screen most of the time. Which I have, like, my last 5 girlfriends I've met through this channel. So I mean, sometimes I meet people in person too, but, yeah, but it's like I made this channel because I needed people to interact with on this level, because you don't get this with nobody else or anywhere else, or, so that's like, I have a strong emotional attachment to it on that level. And because I feel like this is how I accumulate good karma too. Like, I feel like this is my service to humanity, to the world, by giving of myself. There's no guarantees I ever make a penny doing this, right? So I'm giving all of my time and energy and effort, and I'm giving it away for free. So this is like my service. And I feel like that's what protects me and brings me good luck. And keeps me, just in good graces with spirit. So, I mean, it's part of my spiritual practice as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of, reasons why I've kept doing it. Because a lot of people, have told me a long time ago, like, yo, man, they're canceling everybody. They're shutting it all down, like, you need to think of something else to do. It's like, yeah, you're right. But it's like, man, there's so many things about it that are really important to my life that I don't want to let go of, or that I don't want to not do, So, I think that's the main reason I get so frustrated too, is because I care so much, But it's all good, like, either way. I have put a resume out there, though, so to try to get into, content creation and all that, like, for some other places. And I feel like no matter what happens, I will probably try to do some version of this, even just as a hobby, or, occasionally, or when I can. So, and I want to get into, fashion and be able to use my artistic side to create different things. And just, I write. I have a lot of things I do. And if I wasn't doing this, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be doing other things, to express myself creatively, And I think a lot of the reason I don't stop is because I know that there are so many people that want me to stop. They don't want us to talk about these things. They don't want the truth out there. They don't want us to gather in the spirit together like we do now, right now. they don't want us to, they want us to be alone and to be isolated and to feel like we're alone and that nobody thinks like we do, nobody feels like we do, and nobody sees the world the way that we do. That way we stay depressed and low vibration, low energy. Because when we're happy, when we're in love, when we have friends and companionship and, brotherhood and sisterhood and, when we belong to clubs and, all of that, like, it amplifies us. It makes us bigger, our presence bigger, our energy more focused, more concentrated. And we reach further and stronger and more powerful. But if we're isolated, and we're depressed, and we're broke, and we're sad, and, it diminishes us and our presence, and it makes it easier for us to be attacked, and it makes more negativity stick to our aura too, easier. So, yeah, they live off of our energy either way. They do try to keep us apart. Absolutely. I feel like if I have a soulmate out there, I will meet them through this show, through this channel. Like, how could I not? If I do, I would meet them through this, probably. Because it would be somebody who had a like mind. I need people in my life that are intelligent, and that are able to think for themselves. Especially like your lover or, friend or companion, whatever. Like, I can't have somebody who can't even think for themselves, as a partner in my life. I need somebody that is not dogmatic and is not going to judge me for the different practices and things that I do in life. Is going to think I'm a Satanist because I do fucking new moon and full moon rituals for manifestation, and I need somebody in my life that has morals, principles too, Like, not all people that are spiritual have those, by the way. Or not all people that are spiritual consider the same things moral, and that's okay. I have met some people that have had way looser morals and principles than me, and I'm not judging them. But that's why we didn't jive. It wasn't, just a different idea of certain things. And I can't force nobody to be or see like I do, and I don't want nobody to force me to be or see like they do either. So that's when you part ways. You just missed a shitload of the show. Got a call from a mentally unstable person who threatened and abused me. We met them online. Yeah, well, oh, well, wow, that's some pretty deep shit. Careful, sounds like a quick way into a dysfunctional lady whose issues are made manifest through a teacher, student. Hey, look, now, but it's not like that. You won't have that dynamic with me. If you date me, you'll understand that I'm not your teacher. I will try to teach you things, just like I do on here, and I share all my knowledge with my girlfriends and stuff, but I am actually looking for you to teach me too. Because I feel like each person brings their own individual experience into life, and I haven't lived the same life as you, so I don't care if you're a year older than me or 10 years younger than me. I respect your experience and understand that it's different than my own, and that you have something to offer and something to teach me as well. And I also know that not each and every one of us study the same things, or the same put the same amount of energy and effort into studying the same things, right? So, you may know way more about a subject that I've covered, but just don't understand to the depth of the level you do. So, I'm always open, and I feel like everyone can teach me, and every girlfriend I've ever had has taught me something. Some of them were not so good at something, but for the most part, I've had some very, very smart girls. So, because I've battled through this work, I can't do the people that, I just can't. Like, I need somebody that wants to be informed, that wants to, that seeks knowledge. One of the problems I've had, though, is I have attracted a couple of people that don't actually care about the spiritual side. If that makes sense, right? Like, they watch it, but the reason, like, they don't live it, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, they don't live it. They don't do the work, really. So I have ran into that too, where people just wanted to be in my life for the wrong reasons. Now, I'm not saying because you want to sleep with me is a wrong reason, but just say that. Just say, "Oh, I want to sleep with you." Don't try to make it sound like you're fucking into the same thing as me to do it. You ain't got to even do all that. Just say, "Hey, it's a physical attraction. I just want to sleep with you." You don't have to tell me that that you are spiritual and that you are into all the same things. Your wife is ignorant of spiritual, but she labeled you crazy. She also believed all the lies, gave everything, and tried to warn them. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey. You, for one, am all for the guru and harem lifestyle, as long as there's real work being done, and it's not an MK Ultra Charlie Manson facade. God damn, bro. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Mine's not an MK Ultra Charlie Manson facade. Trust me. I don't do the MK Ultra thing. And I'm not like Charlie Manson. I don't have a cult. And if I did, we wouldn't be murdering people. We'd just be like, I don't know what we'd be doing. We'd be doing something, but it wouldn't be murdering people. I can tell you that. We'd be like living off the grid or something if I had one. You don't see me with a harem either, dude. That is my weakness. That's how the let's call them the controllers have attacked me. It's through women. I have a weakness for beautiful women. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even call it a weakness. a fetish. I'm a male. I'm a young male, and I like beautiful women. I cannot help it. And I'm not ashamed of it either. So it is what it is. But I think it surprises a lot of people when they meet me and they find out I don't just like sleep with every single person I come across. It's like, nope, I actually live this shit, and I understand what happens when you have a powerful consciousness or you are magnetic and you sleep with a person. I don't want to fuck somebody's head up. I don't want to get them connected to me. People can become addicted to energy, and when you understand too that you can influence other people, you don't take advantage of that. With great power comes great responsibility. And I hate to say it, but people who's had influence over me haven't been so kind. they've tried to fuck me up. They've tried to warp my mind and string me along and, hurt me and do bad things to me. But that's not my MO. I don't want to do those things to people. I have no desire for that. I want to use my power, my influence, my magnetism to set people free and to empower them and I want them feeling themselves. I want them to feel themselves, like, in how empowered they are and how beautiful they are and how strong they are and how knowledgeable they are and how strong they could be. I want them to be feeling themselves, and I want them to see their own worth and know their value and to have respect and love for themselves. And I want them to honor themselves is what I want for others. And that's what I try to use my influence and power for when I come into a person's life. But not everybody wants that for themselves. So, you can't make people do it. Lift each other up, exactly. To be a whole person, yeah. And to be a whole person, you can't, you got to heal the broken parts. That's why you got to do the work. That's why you can't just talk it. You have to walk it. You have to live the life. And that doesn't mean you walk around like a nun or a pope or something. You ain't got to do all that. You know what I mean? You don't have to do all that. It's just about trying to be just real with yourself, And I'm real with myself, as much as I can be. I understand where I fall short, what my weaknesses are, what my strengths are, where I could do better and I can improve, where I procrastinate and I have a lack of effort, where I overdo it, I know myself. And, one of my hardest things that I've had to do is truly know my worth and my value. That was probably the hardest thing ever for me. And you would think that would be the easiest one, but it's not. It's not. And creating boundaries as well has been a big thing for me. It's been challenging for me because I don't like to tell people no. I don't like to say no. I don't like to offend people or upset people or create conflict when it's not necessary. And sometimes when you set boundaries, you will, but it's about creating a frame, and it's called framing your energy, especially with males. It's said that due to our own natural sexual dynamic, and when you understand that everything is based off of sex, even if it's not about sex, we function that way as anatomically to procreate and to exist. So we think in those type of patterns and shit. Even if it has nothing to do with that, sex, actual sex, it'll still be some similar relation to that pattern of thinking. But it's said that and females can do this too, though. And I suggest females actually do this too, especially with how some men are towards females and trying to dominate them and domineer over them when they don't want to be done that way. And control them and shit, and don't want them to be their own person. So sometimes females need to know how to create their own frame and stand in their own power too. But it's said that when we create our own frame, and it's about holding space within ourselves and holding power within ourselves. And there's an exercise on how to do it. And I'm going to do the fucking exercise in a video very soon. But when we have a strong, expanded consciousness, because we have this inverse view of the world a lot of times, and you guys who would consider yourself to be travelers, right, where you can kind of travel into other people's bodies and other places and shit like that. It's because we overcompensate as children and shit, which is shadow work basically, because as we're developing, we get traumatized as children and all of that, and it teaches us that we need to externalize our energy and compensate in other people, places, situations, and things in order to create balance and harmony within our lives or within ourselves. And when we get into that habit and we actually get into awakened state and high conscious state, our consciousness doesn't want to stay put. It wants to travel. It wants to, we want to use that to control the situations around us to maintain stability. And this is especially prominent when you have your bottom 3 chakras blocked, right? Especially your root chakra. If you're having problems there, because that's, the core stability, but it can go all the way up to the bottom 3. And that's why people, when they hex you or put curses and witchcraft on you, they attack those the most. Because it's easier to knock your ass around once they've got you out of your root. You know what I mean? Then they can really, tear into you. Because then they can get your consciousness out of you. And use your energy for whatever they want and steer energy. So once, you got blockage down there and you're out of alignment, what your consciousness will actually try to do to compensate for the lack of stability within your core is it automatically shoots up to your third eye and it tries to control everything from there instead of, from the root and the energy flowing upward and doing it in alignment and balance and harmony and in a stable manner from within you. It then goes to the third eye and tries to control it externally. And a lot of us that travel and stuff, we get caught in those habits very easily. And that's even how a lot of us learn how to travel, is because we actually had blockages in our bottom 3 chakras and didn't know it. So there's different exercises, and it's called framing, and it's about creating your own personal space or frame to hold your energy in, and it allows you to focus your energy into the core and into your root chakra. That way, everywhere you go, your energy, it becomes habit. Just like you create the habit of externalizing your energy and trying to overcompensate by externalizing your energy, you can create the habit of internalizing that energy. And when you internalize it, that means you withdraw your energy. And when you withdraw your energy, it makes people want your energy more, right? So we can use this as techniques in love, as well. If you ever notice like a person that's, let's say like somebody that's not feeling you that much, you know what I mean? And you're like give, over giving, and they're just kind of treating you like dirt or not that into you. Well, I guarantee you, if you learn how to hold your energy within your frame and you internalize that shit and you withdraw that energy, I guarantee that'll act right. You know what I mean? Guarantee it. Withdraw your energy from people and see how they respond. See how they respond once you withdraw it. And I've seen this, a lot. I use this technique a lot because I'm an overgiver. So as soon as I see that a situation starts to get unbalanced, the first thing I do is make sure I get back into my frame and withdraw. And not withdraw as in, permanently, but I withdraw my energy from the person or the situation, and I shift the way the pendulum's swinging. So instead of me pursuing their energy, it then shifts it and makes them pursue mine. So... what do you mean? You need to hear this for your kid? Well, What are you guys talking about? 7 billion, and you know this too, man. The world is watching. I mean, I don't know if the world is watching. You know, I feel like the world is. A lot of days. I feel like everybody's watching. Not this actual video, but, you know, in my life. And I'm just saying, though, like, we really got to be conscious of our energy. And, you know, that's, I think, in your last relationship, they drew off of my energy. I think in my last 10 relationships, they've drawn off of my energy. So, to the point so much that, and I have an incredible battery on me, which I think we all do if we know how to stay connected to source. So like I got this infinite amount of energy, and I'm high energy, and I replenish energy incredibly fast, and I have a new, you know, I'm born again every other day. You know, I really am. I'm constantly birthing new creations, new things. And I tend to attract people that's what they're attracted to me for, is my energy. You know, so I attract a lot of witches and occultists that want to use my energy for their own benefit and try to drain me dry. You know, enslave me, control me, you know, things like that. And that's not good, you know. It's not good. Especially, you know, like, sexual energy, you know. There's nothing worse than having someone try to drain you of sexual energy so they can actually use your sexual energy with another person. You know what I mean? That's like, wow, thanks. Gee, thanks. You know? Or sell your energy. You know? I've had people do some really dirty, dirty things to me. And some very, very traumatic things that people will never, ever get to know. You know? Unless I write a book or something. I'm alone because of it. Yeah, I am too. Because I know if I connect that cord, I want to make sure I connect it with the right person from now on. Because they're really hard to disconnect, you know. And it doesn't just connect one way. You know, it connects both ways. So, it's not just the fact that they try to drain me. It's, you know, some people, when you withdraw your energy especially, you know, they try to use that cord to hurt you. You know? I just drain you, but to send things to you, bad things to you, to harm you. You know? So, that's a sacred thing, you know? When we connect in that way with people, that is the most powerful, energetic expression on the face of the earth. You know? Is sex. Birth and death. You know? Those three things. They give off the most energetic burst you can even experience in life. You know, so when a baby is born, have you ever felt the emotion in a room? Like, it ain't even gotta be your kid, you'll cry. You'll feel the joy. Right? The relief. The connectedness. You know? Like, it's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful experiences you can ever have. And, That's a beautiful, beautiful expression of the energy of life and pure creation through birth. From the pain all the way to delivery and the relief. The entire experience is amazing, and there's a lot of energy. That's why women are just wiped out, by the time they're done, because that is something a male probably can't even comprehend. There's that much exchange going on, and they're literally doing like yogic and tantric exercises with their breathing and shit to get their bodies ready to even do that. You know what I mean? It's like people don't see it from that angle though. And then death, the emotion of death. Depending on the fashion of death, that's why people do the torture thing. Because of the energy that's given off through that. The hopelessness, the pain, the despair, or just, any death. The mourning, the detachment, the loss, the sadness, and the relief. It's an energetic release. And then when male and female come together for sex, that is the ultimate power because it is the creation of life. You're birthing a new life in the moment. And that's what your body will charge up in attraction magnetically before you even engage in the act, right? That's what draws you together and triggers the pheromones and the chemical reactions and all of that. And your brain starts operating differently and your nervous system and your blood flow and everything. Like it's all operating differently because it's triggering this, electromagnetic, spiritual, chemical, kinetic experience that is like a phenomenon of God. Truly. And that's why it was looked at as sacred for so long. And really should still be, but it's not. The everything from the act, you know what I mean? The locking of the eyes and all of that. Like it's a transference of energy and it's two becoming one. And it's a connection, that binds you forever, really. So, and it even is so powerful, like after release, orgasm, that it charges the air in the room. And that's why magical rites and shit are performed with sex magic. Because it's very, very, very powerful. And you use words to speak things into existence. How you set the intent or the intention of something first. And write out and script what you want. To manifest, create your symbols and sigils to attract and represent those frequencies. Your offerings of herbs, minerals, whatever, to attract and whatever. And, even ritualistic baths to invoke certain energies too, depending on what you're trying to do. And then the actual act. And after the act, when the air is so charged, then the words are spoken. And it's because it has like a powerful, powerful effect. So like your chances of making something manifest or attracting something are, raised exponentially. It's like through the roof, because that's in the air. The power of creation itself is in the air. You're lacking in the ability to comprehend. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Honestly. Like, I feel like, I don't know how to be no other way. I don't know how to be anybody but me. Even the shitty parts of me. The crooked parts of me. I don't know how to be no other way. Like, I just don't. So. And I'm not ashamed of what I know or what I understand or how I feel or what I want or what I desire or anything. I'm not ashamed of any of it. That's one thing I've had to grow into. I've had to grow into that. Of not being ashamed of all the parts of me. That to me, that's evolution, and just being comfortable in your own skin is part of being mature, spiritually mature and spiritually evolved. How can you be a leader, or how can you be a powerful speaker or manifester or anything, father or anything, if you are dwelling on insecurities? If you're not comfortable with every part of yourself, like, how can you be a good husband if you're not secure and safe within yourself? How can you make your wife feel safe and secure? Right? And that's why I feel like in relationships, people do things to each other, is because of defects within themselves. So, like, whenever you see men or whatever put women down, or call them whores or whatever, right? Accuse them, things like that, it's usually insecurity within themselves, lack of security and safety within themselves. And when they project that on to the person they're with, and vice versa, if a female is doing that to a male, constantly saying, oh, you can't keep your dick in your pants, da-da-da-da, it's something that's within themselves, and they're projecting it onto you. Like, and our values and shit shine through too. Like, I have seen and experienced where people will try to make me feel like something is wrong with me because they're materialistic, or because, you know what I mean? Like, things like that. It's just, I've seen these things so much. I've experienced so many different people. And I psychoanalyze everything, obviously. Oh, thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. That's a really, really beautiful comment. Yeah. What'd you say here? It says no one's perfect. I want to be, and I'm disappointed I'm not able. So am I, bro. So am I. I'm such a perfectionist. I put so much pressure on myself in every aspect. Like, every aspect. Like, doesn't matter what it is. I want to be the best at everything I do. Or do it the best to my ability, at least. And thank you, Liz. Like, for real, you don't even know. Thank you so much. And keep this channel. Even if you don't be full-time doing it, I need you, bro. Oh, well, thank you. You light up my world, for real. With that big old heart. Well, thank you. Thank you. I plan on trying to just keep it going. Or at least, like, doing videos. I was talking to somebody, like, what would happen if I was to just switch fields completely, and I think I would still try to do like something once a week or something, just, something. I don't know. I don't know what it would look like or what it's going to look like. We'll see what opportunities present themselves, really. That's really the key to everything. That's what's going to determine and shape my outcome, is what field I end up in or what opportunities present themselves. I feel like there's been times where I've wanted to, walk away, and then all of a sudden, I get an outpouring of support or something, and it delays it. It's like I go 6 more months because I'm able to. Shit like that happens. You never know. You can't predict the future, but I am trying to openly, I don't want to struggle no more, is my point. And that's just part of, a self-love thing. I feel like I owe it to myself to put myself in a position to where I can be comfortable, in life. And I don't like the bitter feeling it creates. You feel like because we've been brainwashed into believing that our value is based on our monetary value, right? It makes me feel less valuable when I struggle, or less appreciated, or less loved, or whatever. And that's something within me. That's not other people, and it causes problems. I'm not, if you're not stable, you're not really able to be in a relationship. You're not really able to do a lot of things. So it's how much of yourself do you want to sacrifice, and how long do you want to continue to do that? So, yeah. There's reasons, and some of them, I guess, can be considered selfish, but they're not meant to be selfish. It's more of I want to practice what I preach a little bit, and I just want to expand and grow always. That's one of the things I get my jollies off on, feeling like I'm growing or, becoming more or greater or bigger, for real. Do what brings me the most joy. If I could do what brings me the most joy, I'd do this forever. Absolutely. This is my passion. But you also have to do what pays the bills, too. I don't know. But like I said, I will always probably do some version of this just because of my love for it, and love to learn, and love to be able to communicate with people and just do what I love to do. We probably won't have to worry about it too much longer, right? We have the weather manipulation going on. One of the worst flash floods ever to have occurred in Britain swept through the Devon village in Lynmouth. 35 people died as a torrent of 90 million tons of water and thousands of tons of rock poured off a saturated Exmoor and into the village, destroying homes, bridges, shops, and hotels. The disaster was officially termed the Hand of God. Attaching to money is better than trying it to emotional connection is. Tying it to an emotional connection. Hey, the emotional connection gets you beat down a fuck ton worse, right? And then I used to have the pure emotional connection to where I felt guilty if I didn't make videos, or I felt guilty if I wasn't suffering for other people. I had a bad time with that, and I had a hard time getting over that. Yeah, so I've been through that phase too. And then it became like, okay, well now I got to take care of me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and now it's about, the money thing. And it's like to the point to where I don't want to be like, I don't want that either. I don't want that either. And I don't want to ruin all my videos by, fucking begging everybody to support. You know what I mean? Like, if people will, they will. If they won't, they won't. Hopefully I inspire them to. And if I don't, hopefully the Holy Spirit will inspire them to. And hopefully, I can get by till I can find a different means of income, and then not have to worry about it through the YouTube channels and shit anymore. So anybody that can, I'm sure they will. So, or I hope they will. The disaster has officially turned the hand of God, but new evidence from previously classified government files suggests a team of international scientists working with the RAF experimenting with artificial rainmaking southern Britain in the same week, and it could possibly be implicated.
Went with the longest.
The Windmouth Deluge?
Tragedy, sudden and appalling, descends upon the little seaside resort of Lynmouth. Lynmouth as you knew it is no more, was the message which came over the air with pathetic poignancy to thousands of people who've known and loved this beauty spot on the North Devon coast.
Do some hard work, it's good for you. I hate to tell you, brother, but this is a lot of hard work. Seriously, this is a lot of hard work. I'm streaming from like 10 channels right now, and I run all my own social media. I build all my own websites. I do all my own musical scores. I do the audio, video engineering, pre and post production, all my own writing, all my own design, all of it. So, hate to tell you, man, this is like 70, 80 hours worth of work a week. And as far as physical labor, definitely not scared of that either. Done that plenty in life. So, but as of right now, I don't have my glasses or contacts, so I can't see to even like fucking do physical labor right now. So I'm supposed to go September 1st to get some new ones, so I'll be able to switch it up here before too long. I don't have insurance right now either, so that sucks also. Squadron leader General Otley, who was working on what was known as Operation Cumulus, has told the BBC that they jokingly referred to the rainmaking exercise Operation Witch Doctor. The meteorological office has in the past denied there was any rainmaking experiences conducted before 1955, but BBC Radio 4 History Investigation has unearthed documents recently released at the Public Records Office showing that they were going from 1949 to 1955. RAF logbooks and personnel corroborate the evidence. Operation Cumulus. They call it Operation Witch Doctor.
Lives long in the memory. Today is an idyllic seaside town, but in the 1950s it was the scene of the worst flooding in post-war Britain. These floods claimed many lives and ripped the community apart.
Until now, the Ministry of Defense has categorically denied any cloud seeding experiments. Yeah, that shit got fucked up. And let's go over here. Angels don't play this harp. Advances in Tesla technology. Angels don't play this harp. I love the title of that. By Dr. Neil Bejic and Gene Manning. The U.S. government has a new ground-based Star Wars weapon being tested in the remote bush country of Alaska. The new system manipulates the environment in a way which can disrupt human mental processes, jam all global communication systems, change weather patterns over large areas, and interfere with wildlife migration patterns, and negatively affect your health, unnaturally impact the Earth's upper atmosphere. The U.S. military calls its Zapper HARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, but the Skybuster is not about the northern lights. The device will turn on lights never intended to be artificially manipulated. Their first target is the Electrojet, a river of electricity that flows thousands of miles to the sky and down into the polar ice cap. The Electrojet will become a vibrating artificial antenna for sending electromagnetic radiation raining down on the Earth. The U.S. military can then X-ray the Earth and talk to submarines, but there's much more they can do with HARP. You should watch the church militant video on the devil on Rome. It's crazy. There's priests that actually groom women to perform a satanic mass in their church. Where do you find that at? I'd like to hear that one. The church militant video. The devil on Rome. Project Censored, prestigious panel of journalists judged HARP to be in the top 10 underreported news stories. Popular Science, front cover story began revealed in September 95. The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, the HARP that angels don't play. And let's go down to some of this. And then here's like a timeline here. Hold on. I actually want to go to something different. Okay. Nikola Tesla, the inventor, had filed patent applications on the essential parts of a machine, possibilities which test a layman's imagination and promise a parallel of Thor's shooting thunderbolts from the sky to punish those who had angered the gods. Suffice it to say that those say that invention will go through space with a speed of 300 miles a second. A manless ship without propelling engine or wings sent by electricity to any desired point on the globe on its errand of destruction, if destruction its manipulator wishes to effect. Wow. I was about to show an article to you guys today that was talking about the United States government just developed a manless ship too. What the fuck? Talk about a synchronicity and a half. It's not a time, said Dr. Tesla yesterday, to go into details of this thing. It is founded upon a principle that means greater things in peace. It can be used for things, great things in war. But I repeat, this is no time to talk of such things. It is perfectly practicable to transmit electrical energy without wires and produce destructive effects at a distance. I have already constructed a wireless transmitter which makes this possible and have described it in my technical publications, among which I refer to my patent number. Of course, it's got 911 in it. 1.119732, recently granted. With transmitters of this kind, we are enabled to project electrical energy in any amount to any distance and apply it for innumerable purposes, both in war and peace. Through the universal adoption of the system, ideal conditions for the maintenance and law and order will be realized. For then the energy necessary to the enforcement of right and justice will be normally productive, yet potential and in any moment available for attack and defense. The power transmitted need not be necessarily destructive, for if distance is made to depend upon it, withdrawal or supply will bring about the same results as those now accomplished by force of arms. Yeah, let's hope for a positive future. Yes, they do spray us with that in the sky. Dope 513. I wonder if I know. Do we know each other, Dope 513, from the streets? I bet we do. I have a feeling we do. Here's the actual patent. Full text and image database. And I'm willing to bet that Dope 513 on D Live knows me from the streets. Probably. Yeah, we do, motherfucker. What you saying? Probably. We do. We do. Full text is available for this patent. Let's click on the images. Here's the patent right here, Tesla. The apparatus for transmitting electrical energy. I mean, not that fucking impressive for real. I mean, but with this enormous voltage, he said microscopic electrical particles of matter will be catapulted on their mission of defensive destruction. It's been working on this invention, he added, for many years and recently made a number of improvements on it. There was a third reference, apparently, that Tesla and Begich could not obtain. Tesla's idea in these articles raised more questions in Begich's mind about the version of law and order likely to rise from any military organization controlling such technology. He believed that if this technology were to be implemented anywhere, it should be done so openly and honestly, and only when it can be safe and worthwhile for improving the human condition. The idea of unleashing such power into the planet's ionosphere disturbed him deeply. Back off, Charlie. This is our planet, too. What? Ionospheric disturbances have been detected and ascribed to earthquakes, such as the Alaska earthquake. Yeah, no shit. It's an earthquake machine. I wonder if Dope 513 is a male or female. I'm trying to narrow it down that way I know who it is. I have some ideas already. Summary, the final environmental impact statement, and this is a purpose and need for action here. Construction and operation ionospheric research facility in the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. The High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HARP, is a scientific endeavor aimed at studying basic properties and behavior of the ionosphere, with particular emphasis placed on being able to better understand and use it to enhance communications and surveillance systems for both civil and defense purposes. The HARP system, if constructed, would allow a significant advance in man's ability to investigate the upper atmosphere. The environmental analysis and impact study for this action focuses on the following resources and issues: land and minerals, vegetations and wetlands, mammals, birds, aquatics, hydrology and water quality, air quality, cultural resources, substance and bioeffects, radio frequency, radiation, electromagnetic environment, and radio frequency interference, atmosphere, threatened and endangered species, hazardous materials and waste, and irretrievable commitment of resources. In addressing these subject areas, the FEIS is divided into three main sections: proposed action and alternatives, affected environment and environmental consequences, and mitigation. Let's see here. Let's go down. Public concerns. Below is a brief synopsis of the areas of concerns raising during the public review process: electromagnetic interference with various electronic systems, especially with communications and aviation systems, like all the plane crashes. Bioeffects and radio frequency radiation on both humans and wildlife. Fuck it, who cares, right? You only live once. You might as well, get all hills have eyes looking for radiation. Utilization of local labor for HARP construction and operation. Level of detail in DEIS, public review period. I'm kind of concerned. Prospect What? You're kind of concerned? No. What are you concerned about? DEIS publication and public hearings, impacts on fish and wildlife associated with gravel mining activities near the Copper River and Tulsana Creek. I'd love to hear your concerns. Bird collisions with the IRI and VIS antenna masts. What? Noise impacts associated with construction and operation. Impacts on the upper atmosphere, and particularly the ozone layer. Other issues raised less frequently has also been discussed with unanswered. All that. Yeah. Don't sweat it, man. It's all good. Don't sweat it. You've probably been sucking in more radiation than you could ever imagine. And besides, birds collide in the sky all the fucking time, right? That's normal for birds to just smash into each other. Oh, shit. Let's see what else. DARPA. Space BACN back in the pan. Startup SpaceLink eyes potential for more DoD links. Hooray! DARPA and the Department of Defense, which is one and the same. DARPA is like the fucking the polite way of saying we're using the military against you. There are a lot of things to be concerned about today. Yeah, I know. There is a lot of shit to be concerned about today. I feel like I don't know, people are probably concerned about my mental health after watching this fucking video. SpaceLink intends to put 4 data relay satellites in medium Earth orbit to complement and back up the Space Development Agency's transport layer. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. See it here. Startup SpaceLink. And I told you guys, man. Starlink. This shit's, what's it called? From Terminator. Skynet. Right? I said this at the very beginning of the video. You know, all of this is interconnected. You know, Star Wars program, Starlink, SpaceLink, DARPA, Apogect, Pfizer, Mode, RNA. It's called transhumanism, homie. It's called terraforming the whole fucking planet to lock you into a fucking electromagnetic, plasmatic, holographic simulation under a worldwide web for your consciousness to data mine your ass so they can copy said consciousness. Using graphene oxide to replace a carbon structure within your system because it's the same thing. They both have that hexagonal honeycomb shape, right? Set up crystalline structure, grid matrix within your system too. To replace the organic material, you know. Self-replicating nanobots. It's fucking wild. Which, you know, are capable of parthenogenesis, you know, so they're asexual. Nobody will need to reproduce anymore, you know, at all. At all. And then you look at hydrogel and its ability to infiltrate every crack and crevice of your body because it's water soluble. And And then all the nanofibers and the way that they replicate, mimic, and stick to DNA. You know, the genetic alteration, right? So they can patent your genetics. Fucking damn. It's like, is this real? Somebody wake me up. Satellites don't exist. They're just really big boxes packed with all the highest tech and sent up using a giant weather balloon. How do you detox from that stuff? I heard boron is how you actually detox from it. That's what I heard. Don't take my word for it, but I have heard that that's what makes nanoparticles stick to you, and you'll you'll shit and piss it out, basically. So, like, people have even talked about their urine being, like, having, like, fucking crystals in it, transmission fluid colored, like, like a rainbowish look to it from using it afterwards. So, I did go on the Truth or Telethon one time, and somebody was selling a product that was supposed to be able to remove nanoparticles. So you'd have to go to my private playlist and watch the Truth or Telethon video, because it's never been published here. But I went on 2 of them. Yeah, and they had a product. I didn't end up pushing the product, but the person that got me on the Truth or Telethon, that's what they do, is they sell that product that actually, I guess it's supposed to rid the body of any heavy metals, including nanoparticles. So, I guess, it is what it is, right? But the startup special, the company's plan aimed far and beyond, with a firm en route to launching data relay constellation for military and commercial. Yeah, when he's talking about this, how they wanted to connect military, commercial, and residential, right? SpaceLink hopes to launch its first satellites connected via laser-powered OSILs in 2024. Company officials told Breaking Defense in a recent interview. The telescopes and lasers descend to receive light waves carrying communications data between satellites. And think about that too. It says that the pathways will ensure resiliency and reduce sensor-to-shooter latency. This is fucking crazy. Our mission is to be able to put 4 SpaceLink satellites in medium Earth orbit. We're actually at 14,000 kilometers equatorial, so we're around the equator. And from that vantage point, we can see LEO, low Earth orbit, asset, or above. Geosynchronous orbit all the time. Wow. No, fuck you, DARPA. Oh, man. And it says, we are also landing data within sovereign boundaries of the United States, which allow national security element of being able to not have our own data or our own customers' data. More importantly, traverse undersea or foreign fiber optic cables, which is commonplace with ground stations as service paradigm today. Optical communications are way more secure than radio frequency. It's almost impossible to jam or intercept signals that are optical laser beam leaks. Okay. Agency's transport layer. Full spectrum operations. Yeah. See, and this is just where it's going, man. This is just where it's all going, guys. Honestly. It's transhumanism. It's the technocracy at its finest. SpaceLink officials see the award under DARPA's Spaceback Project for Space-Based Adaptive Communications node as part of a parcel in their mission plan, noting that DARPA and SDA are working closely together to develop affordable, reliable OSILs and terminals capable of using the myriad standards currently being used by industry. SpaceLink, partnering with Parsons, was among the winning companies and teams for Project Technical Area 3, designed to develop and command control elements and software interfaces. We're happy to participate on the third area with the other operators because it's an area that we've been working on for 2 years now, and we have a lot to offer the DARPA program. SpaceLink will continue to contribute its technical insights to the development of the application program, interface, and algorithms. The company elaborated in a press release. SpaceLink will also have the opportunity to support the simulation and testing that informs the deployment and utilization of spaceback and reconfigurable optical communication terminals, to develop flexible, low size, weight, power, and cost, to develop reconfigurable optical modem that supports 100 gigabytes per second, single wavelength. Dude. And this is to connect the whole thing, the whole system, all of it. Every last fucking drop. So let me just go through these real fast and show you a little something, you know. Here's the actual original HARP, Active Auroral Research Program, Air Force Geophysics Laboratory, the Office of Naval Research. And this is a scary fucking read, I will tell you that. Potential applications are the generation of ELF waves in the 700 to 150 hertz band to provide communications to deeply submerged submarines. A program to develop efficient ELF generation techniques is planned under the DoD Ionospheric Enhancement Program. Remember, DARPA, DoD. Remember everything else, DoD, okay? It's all DoD. Geophysical probing to identify, characterize natural ionospheric processes to limit the performance of C3 systems so that techniques can be developed to mitigate or control them. Generation of ionospheric lenses to focus large amounts of high frequency energy at high altitude of the ionosphere, thus providing a means for triggering ionospheric processes that potentially could be exploited for DoD purposes. Electron acceleration for the operation. And this goes into CERN too, by the way. We're all the guinea pigs to them. Yeah, we are. Trust me. If you have participated, put it this way, if you let them swab or poke you, you're a part of it. You know? And you don't even have to let them do that either. They'll just, it's called a targeted individual. They'll fucking sting your ass with it either way. So, you know, either way, doesn't matter. And the mind control and all of that, you're getting it through your television, your radio, I mean, all of it. You can't avoid it. The World Wide Web, it's, you know, that's why the first geoengineering show is called Operation Witch Doctor. You know, ultimate voodoo, you know. Where am I at? Electron acceleration for the generation of IR and other optical emissions to create additional ionization in selected regions of the ionosphere that can be used to control radio waves and propagation properties. Generation of electromagnetic field aligned ionization to control the reflection. And I can't see what that word says with the ink properties of radio waves, and oblique heating to produce effects of radio wave propagation at the great distances of the HF high frequency heater, the broadening of the potential military applications, ionospheric enhancement technology, and generation of ionization layers below 90 kilometers to provide radio wave reflectors or mirrors, which can be exploited for long range over the horizon, and that's VHF, UHF, surveillance purposes, including the detection of cruise missiles and other things. And those mirrors, think about sun simulators, motherfucker. They're a part of it too. sun simulators, satellites, fucking, I don't care what it is. The blockchain and cryptocurrency, the World Wide Web, the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Things, the electrical grid, quantum computing, neural networks, right? AI, machine learning, deep machine learning, D-Wave. All forms of plasmatic and electromagnetic frequency. All of it. Ionosphere, I don't give a fuck what it is. Stratospheric aerosol injection. Starlink. Spacelink, Star Wars. Any program you can fucking think of. It is a transhumanist agenda where they are terraforming your reality to hijack your host body and integrate you with artificial intelligence. It's called the assimilation. The process disconnects you from the old frequency of the natural organic world by destroying your pineal, which is the magnetic pole of your body. It travels through your nervous system, up your spinal cord to your brain, where your pineal is located, the magnetic pole of your body. To replace your carbon structure, your carbon footprint. Here, let me show you this. Hold on. I got it somewhere. Ah, here we go. Yeah. We are the carbon they want to reduce. We are the carbon they want to reduce. You're made of carbon. You are the carbon they want to reduce. You feel me? Yay. Get your transhumanist ass on the bus. Get your plastic ass on the bus. The fuck you talking about? Get your plastic ass back on the bus. Project Bluebeam. It's already part of it too. Yeah, Project Bluebeam is part of it too. Project Bluebeam is part of it too. That's just using the same fucking nanoparticulates as mirroring systems in the sky and the holograms to be able to produce imagery and all that shit. Imagine if everybody's jacked in what they'd see. Anything they wanted them to. You know, you might already be inside Project Bluebeam and not even know it. I was even talking about earlier how the Mandela effect could just really simply be how they've shifted our fucking electromagnetic perception from the old organic reality we lived into a simulation. And we're actually living in a simulation now. You know, and the Mandela effect is just glitches of them shifting our reality. Our reality is perception. The back of our optical nerve isn't even actually connected to our brain. So we generate what we perceive truly out of nothing. Right? And what we do perceive is upside down. That's why we have like the mirror effect in the back of our eyeball that flips the image the right way up. So perception truly is reality either way you see it, and it's all frequency, it's all light and sound. It's all plasmatic, electromagnetic. They could lay a new frequency or connect you consciously to a different band of frequency and essentially copy or cover the old one and particles, if you will, or particulates, if you will, and recreate a new one right on top of it. A matrix within a matrix, a box within a box. And you never know the fucking difference. It's a singularity. Where they shift the old paradigm into a new one, and you don't even notice it. It's called the Mandela effect. Just little slight alterations, glitches in the matrix. Like Stranger Things? Yeah, definitely. Dude, I know you, man. I'm telling you. I know you. We gotta know each other. And I have an idea who you are now. I'm not gonna put you out there like that, but I know you. Especially if you're a girl, then I know you. If you're a girl, then I definitely know who you are. Very well, probably, if you're a girl. Known you for some years. But if you're not, then I don't know who the fuck you are. I'm just playing. We're happy to participate in the third area with the other operators because in that area we've been working for 2 years now. We have a lot of the offer DARPA program. We're all doomed. I know. Well, that's why we might as well just have a good time while we can, right? Yeah, might as well. If you're holding a grudge, get over that shit. For real. If you are waiting on something, stop. You better tell if you love somebody, tell them today. Don't wait. Be like, oh, I'm going to tell them I'm in love with them next week. No, you might as well do it now. No more hesitation. That's what fucking chaps my ass about people that are so like materialistic and shit like that. It's like, man, you goofy fuck. You're not going to have a 401k more than likely. You know what I mean? Why are you so worried about, that kind of shit? It's like, are you that asleep? Are you that asleep? Do you miss the point that much? There you go. Everyone's 401ks are doomed too. Oh shit. That's the comment of the night right there. I'm starting to get slap happy now. Sorry. But I'm just saying though, if you ever wanted to experiment with something, probably try to experiment. You want to try methamphetamine? No better time. You want to have an orgy? No better time. Right? You want to get married? You should probably pop the question. Oh, Lord. And your 401ks are doomed too. Oh, shit. Let's do this. What are we doing? Are we having an orgy or the methamphetamine? Or both? You was playing kick to kick with your son, while like exchanging kicks in the nuts, like Rochambeau. All of the above. I'm down. If you're a female, I don't know if we can hang like that if you're not. But fuck it, it's the end of the world. So I mean, I never did that before. I might want to experiment once. I don't know. Doubtful. Doubtful. All the above though sounds good to me. I'm in. I'm in. Fuck it, y'all. Oh shit. Wait, what? Yeah, no, I'm just playing. I mean, you know, the strangest fact though about this channel is out of all the drugs I've done, meth has never been my thing. You know, people are always like, get off the meth. It's like, that's actually, I don't do that actually. You know, maybe I should. Maybe I should switch to that, you know. Save on the grocery bill quite a bit, wouldn't I? Oh shit. Maybe in a different universe, I would be with my crush. Oh, that's so sweet. Who's your crush? Maybe in a different universe, you would be with your crush. Who's your crush? Let's write them and let's tell them that you're in love. You can't just put it out there and say not shit now. Saw Issa. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, no shit. Well, I mean, and this would probably be like, I would love to focus. I've seen Focus like 3 times tonight. We're wrapping it up. I can lose focus a little bit. I'm just saying though, like this would be a good time for us to like actually get together in the physical world and just hang out and really just enjoy being alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's like say fuck the dogma, you know, and fuck the differences that we have. Let all that go. And let's focus on what we have in common, you know. And like the love we have for each other and our world and life, you know. And how we all share common belief and spirit. Higher power, God, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter the name we give it. You know, like this is that time to me. It's always that time to me. You know, put our differences aside. You know, in a real heart of forgiveness, right? You think about the word forgiveness, right? It's for, as in F-O-R-E, as in before something happens, right? So, forgiving. So you're like giving a new view or a new perspective, as in like forethought, as in before it ever happened, as if it never happened. You know? A new perspective, a new understanding, a new view. True forgiveness. You know? You're giving a new meaning to a person, a new view, a new feeling to something. I mean, it'd be cool if everybody could do that and let grudges go. I hold grudges sometimes. Like, there's people that's done some dirty, dirty shit to me. You know, and I don't want to forgive them. You know, I don't want to let it go. But I do. I do anyways. Because it's not for them even, it's for me. You know, it's for me. I don't want to hold on to all that bitterness and darkness my whole life. I don't want that weight dragging me down everywhere I go. And all of our fears, fear of rejection, abandonment, not being accepted, neglected, whatever your fear is, being hurt, whatever, you let it go. No better time than the present to be free. And fear, you can't have freedom in fear. So like I said, if you do love somebody, tell them. If you want to do something, do it. That's living. That's experiencing. And that's like really being in the moment and appreciating life, in my opinion. So, with that, I will wrap this one up. I greatly appreciate you guys tonight. You guys have been awesome tonight. Awesome chat, for real. Awesome audience tonight. Awesome family tonight. I love you guys so much, man. Thank you for those who super chatted throughout the show. That was cool as fuck of you guys. I want to ask everybody to hit that thumbs up, hit that like for me. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you can, do me a super solid, share this link. Hey, and right now I am locked out of my Facebook, so if you message me on Facebook, I started a new one, personal one, so you'll have to contact that one. You'll see it. It's a modern picture. It's not from like 1989. But contact it. It's under John Keane still. So if you're trying to find me on Facebook, I'll try to post it in the comment section or something for people who want to friend me on there. But yeah. Please donate, guys. Support the channel. It's very important that we're just able to keep doing what we're doing as long as we can do it, and to try to at least do it as effectively as we can do it. So there's a lot that goes into this. So I need your help to keep it rocking and keep it going. So those of you who can help, I greatly appreciate it. And remember, I know some of you don't give a shit, but the ones who do, this is my livelihood. This is my living. So this is how I take care of me, and the people that I love and the people in my life. So, please donate and support. It means a lot to me, if you would do that, for real. And a very big, warm thank you to those of you that will. I can't express, just how much gratitude I have for you guys that give. Seriously. Because without you, I would not, I couldn't even get by. So, and it's been tough lately. So, thank you to those who do and who will. And if you want to join the Best Damn Fam, $35 a month. Get extended readings, astrology reports, free merch, uncensored content, all that. It's pretty cool. You can join on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships, Facebook fan subscriptions, all that good shit. Or you can just do it the good old-fashioned way, $35, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or Facebook Messenger Pay. And then you text links to 513-393-2396 or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com for your links to the Dropbox with over 100 videos, all our private shows, private videos, all the rare ones that you've never seen. Probably most of you've never even fucking seen them, like my Truth Telethons I've done, Trouble Minds Radio, all the shit that's never been on here. Some of my favorite stuff too. And all of the shit that goes into this agenda in great depth and detail. All those videos are on there. And they're hours long too. And it's pretty cool. So it's well worth it. Consider booking a personal tarot reading. I love to do personal readings. I promise you I will blow you the fuck away with the reading too. I'm really good at it. And they help me out a lot too. Like, they help me out tremendously. It's so worth it, man. And they're so much fun, for real. Get yourself the gift of that. You know, it's like a gift to yourself. It doesn't just help me. It's real fun to do. And they take about 30, 45 minutes long. I can make you a personal video, or I can sit down on Discord and do it with you. They're $50. You just, donate the 50, and then in the notes on your donation, put tarot reading and put your phone number, or put tarot reading and then text that number, and we'll, set up your appointment within 24 hours of payment, or I'll send you the video within 24 hours of payment, depending on which one you want. Or book a soul profile, which is a tarot reading, with clarifiers and everything, and then I do the energetic intuitive reading on you, and I do your personal astrology and how the current alignments will affect you personally, as well as I take your name and do the gematria of your name, the etymology of your name, and all the meanings in it and all of that, as well as your numerology and your life path number, and even we look at the ley lines and stuff that you're born on, and if there's any vortices and the different energies with that. So I mean, it's really cool. It's really deep and in detail. That's 3 days later after you pay, so you'll get it within 3 days because I have to do the homework. You can get your reading done if you want to do the tarot reading part. You can get it done immediately within 24 hours. But all the other stuff takes about 3 days to get it after you pay. I think it's so fucking worth it. And they're so much fun. So, do that too. Alright, man. Subscribe, click the bell. Leave a comment as soon as the video's over. Let me know what you think. Share this link in all your groups and all that good shit. And please, guys, everybody help me out. Donate and support. If everybody just gives a little, man, it goes a long way. Book that reading. And remember, Jesus, the truth, way, and life. God bless you all. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.